Hey folks, Randy Newberg here with another episode of Leupold's Hunt Talk Radio. This is like the coolest podcast I think we've ever done. This is so much nostalgia for me. Anyone who grew up in northern Minnesota like I did dreamed of having a Bluebird school bus made into a camper. And right now we are here with the craziest but coolest, most ingenious idea for public lands I've encountered in a long time. Sam Soholt. You're the brains behind this, Sam.
Yeah, apparently.
That didn't sound like a big vote of confidence.
No, I was definitely the brains behind the operation. So the bus idea, like the origin of the bus idea, started with three of us. It was my brother and his business partner and I were sitting around just talking, and we're like, it'd be cool to get a bus and like gut it out, and then. But the first thought was to do like a big turkey tour, and just drive around and kill turkeys all spring, because it was the slow time for his shop. It's a backcountry hunting store in Colorado. And we're like, what could we do in the spring that would be a good time? but that was like 3 years ago. And since then, I've just been, the idea of getting a bus and turning it into something like this has kind of just been festering. And then with all the public land stuff going on right now, it just seemed like the right timing, and you only live once, right?
Right. When you're done with this, I hope you put it up for auction, because I'm buying it, man.
Not if I get it first.
You put this thing on eBay.
I feel like I'm going to have a pretty high opening bid.
Yeah. I'm going to look like the Partridge Family going across America, man. Danny Bonaducci hanging out the window waving or something.
Gonna have to repaint it,
Wow. So. Anyhow, folks, before we get into this, I better do the important work up front. Hunt Talk Radio is brought to you by Leupold, the great sponsor of most everything we do. Huge supporters of the self-guided hunting, the public land message, all that stuff. And if you're buying optics or looking into optics, I sure hope that you show them that you appreciate their support for all these kind of things. The other one is Orion Coolers. We're about ready to embark on 4 months of living out of coolers, and Marcus and Michael are sitting here with me. Michael's smiling because this is going to be his maiden voyage. Marcus is like, oh yeah, 4 months.
Another fall.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get out of the office.
We're going to be living out of our Orion Coolers. So if you want a really cool tumbler, go to orioncoolers.com, buy yourself a cooler, and use the promo code RANDY. RANDY, and you're going to get a really cool tumbler. And you're going to have there's a reason we use those coolers, because they're good. Marcus is like, yeah.
And they have beer openers on the side.
That's important for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera crew drinks beer at night. I don't. But having a bottle opener on each corner of every cooler, hard to beat.
It's handy.
Yeah. And then we've got Onix Maps, now called Onix. They just did their release last week of the new platform, the new interface, the new app, the new whatever you want to call it. And Sam, if I understand correctly, Onix is one of the groups helping you.
They're helping out with this whole thing. So
how cool is
seemed
that,
like a good
man?
Collaboration,
For sure.
Traveling around and making sure I was on the right spot.
On the public land?
Yeah, it's important.
That's a really good idea. So if you want to have the most useful, helpful piece of information on your smartphone or on your computer to do desk or e-scouting, I would go to onixmaps.com, and I'd use promo code RANDY, R-A-N-D-Y. I don't know why I feel like I got to spell my name, but
It's pretty tough.
People have spelled it wrong. I've had people say, I've been using that promo code. It just doesn't work. And I'm like, well, what promo code are you using? Randy, R-A-N-D-Y, or I. I'm like, oh, well, there's a problem. So that's why I always say it. But if you use it at Onix Maps, you're going to get 20% off their app products. Not chips, but apps. So there, you just saved yourself some money. The whole idea is to make it worth it for people to sit here and listen to us tell BS stories for 2 hours.
Yeah, they might as well save some money on, a pretty...
Sam, I don't know. This is not a booger on your mic here. It's...
I hope not.
There's the fuzzy right there. We were up at Big Sky doing at the Total Archery Challenge.
Yep.
When I bumped into you.
Yep.
That morning we did a podcast. We were handing out dilly bars. And so
this is ice cream?
Yeah, it's ice cream. People were trying to eat dilly bars while they were talking on the mic. And so every one of these mics has a big...
So is this Matzinger? Was it?
No, I think it might have been Corey.
Corey?
Yeah, I think it was
Or-
Corey or
David.
Okay.
Not sure. Or all of them.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Anyhow. But the last one is gohunt.com. Right now, a lot of people are trying to figure out, how do I go hunting this year? Go Hunt has a ton of stuff about over-the-counter units, general tag units, places where you can still go hunting. They added the new feature about how much is public land and how much is private land of every unit, so you can filter it by that and say, well, if there's no more than 10% public land, don't even show me that unit. So it's really, really cool. And if you go there, and again, use promo code Randy, you're going to get $50 of free store credit to their new gear shop. And Marcus, were you? No, you weren't with me. Matthew was with me when we went down and filmed the gear shop thing. It was almost as hot it's almost as hot in here as it was down there when I was in Vegas that time. I think it was 113, but
At least we got a little breeze.
we do.
Coming through
We
the windows
opened up
here.
all the
Yeah.
windows, man.
Yep.
The bad part is for the podcast listeners who aren't watching this on YouTube, they're missing out. They're not getting the full experience.
Can't see the whole thing.
Yeah. So a couple of things we want to accomplish in this is Sam is doing this whole thing to kind of bring attention to the public land cause. Am I saying that right?
Exactly. Yep.
And Sam also knows the life that Michael and Marcus lead because you do a lot of filming, photography, other stuff.
Yeah, I actually haven't had a permanent residence since May of 2014.
Really? Yeah. So you're that guy out on the interstate there in front of Walmart?
I usually don't take to the interstate, but yeah, it's just in my truck, and now a bus. But
Marcus, you have a permanent residence. You're married. You need you gotta,
kind of important.
Yeah, but I haven't spent a weekend inside that residence for a long time.
Really? That's
Now
good,
I'm
right?
Living out of the pickup the entire, whenever I'm away.
Michael, what do you got going on? I show up out there and it's like every time I come to pick you up, there's 8 different trucks.
Yeah. My roommates actually just bought a 91 Ford Ranger and they're spray painting it camo right now.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? When I showed up, it must have been like half done.
Yeah, it was half done. They actually just finished it up yesterday, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually looked into Rangers because I was thinking about pulling a vehicle behind the bus.
Yeah.
And you can get a 91 Ranger for like $700.
Yeah, they got theirs for $500.
There you go. Yeah, see?
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Huh.
It's kind of funny when I was an intern at Midwest Whitetail. Sam was kind of like a legend to us, this nomad living on the road, and all I knew of him was really just his Instagram account. So us and the interns in 2015, we just basically thought he was a legend to us. We thought it was cool how he was basically living the nomadic life.
No wonder you guys act shy when I met you at ATA show.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God, Sam.
So is that an age thing? Because by the time, how old are you, Michael? 23?
I'm 24.
24. By the time I was 24, I aspired to live in a house.
Yeah, I don't know.
So tents and school buses still work at age 24?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I don't know. I think I might be able to do it, but
Yeah.
I haven't lived in the same place for, I don't know, since college, really. I was in college for 4 years, and then after that, I've lived in a new place every year. So,
Well,
yeah.
we're starting Wednesday when we head to Nevada. This podcast, we'll already be in Nevada when this podcast goes up. You'll be living in a new place.
Yeah.
Every 5 or 6 days until the end of January.
all right.
So
Sounds great.
Is it deer? First hunt in
Yeah,
Nevada?
first hunt,
Yep.
archery mule deer.
Cool.
Things are we're on a bad streak in archery mule deer in Nevada, but maybe Marcus changed the luck because you filmed the deer hunt there last year. That was a rifle hunt though,
Yeah.
and we went 3 for 3 on really nice.
That's
bucks.
pretty good juju.
Yeah. Before that, so here's the curse in Nevada. The first archery mule deer tag I got in Nevada, shot a really nice buck.
Yeah.
On camera, I'm like, there ain't nothing to this. This is like taking candy from kids, man. Well, that was in 2010. 2012, I drew again as a second choice unit and we were way up in the rubies. My liver crashed on me, so I didn't even hunt.
Oh, man.
The 2 guest hunters did, David Brinker and Jeff Sposito did the whole episode. I just laid in camp and convulsed the whole time. So that was kind of a bad sign. And then I drew a tag again in 2013, another leftover, and everyone was asking, well, why didn't that make TV? Well, have you been to Nevada, Sam?
No, I haven't.
Michael?
Never
Oh.
driven through it, but
Okay, so you would have, if you don't want to take a bus like this to Nevada,
No.
the amount of dust, you would have to get in here with a fire hose to get the dust out of there.
Yeah, no
And
thanks.
It ruined the camera and the sensor.
Oh, man.
So we get home, all the footage. I don't know, do sensors have like some magnetic, or does it collect dust or something?
It's above my head.
we should know that. We really should. But
I mean, sensors get dust on them, yes.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
It was so bad that the footage, it looks like I don't wash my windshield on my truck, so it kind of looks like you're washing it through the windshield on my truck. So
That's tough to put on TV.
That was really tough to put on TV.
Yeah.
And then I drew again.
Did you shoot a deer that year, though?
No,
Oh, okay.
I didn't even release an arrow.
Yeah.
Got close to one. And that's why this year I told you I'm shooting the first thing with a fuzzy antler on it.
All right.
Because on that hunt, I had a shot at a really nice, probably a 20-inch forky horn. I mean, which for a forky, 20 inches.
Oh, yeah. Let it fly.
Yeah, he's standing there like, man, I'd really like to be on TV. And I turned to the camera, I turned to Brad, I'm like, no, we aren't shooting that. It's first day.
Mistake.
The only thing we saw after that was rattlesnakes.
And then didn't you have another year where the people that were going to give you the permits, were like the firehouse burned down, or no, everyone was out working
Everyone
on
was out
fires?
doing fires.
Yep.
So so people, you guys know this because you're in the business. We need public land film permits wherever we go.
Yep.
And so I sent the Forest Service District my film permit application, I think in June when Nevada results came out. And it was a bad fire year. Everybody got transferred to fire duty. And so the guy couldn't get my film permit done in time. And he called me from a fire. He's someplace on a fire. He's like, I am so sorry to tell you this, but I am fighting fires. I haven't slept more than an hour for the last 3 weeks, and they told me I'm going to be here until whatever day.
Yeah.
He said, I there's no way I'm going to get your film permit done. I feel terrible. I mean, he apologized for a half hour. I'm like, dude, you got more important things to do. So
Yeah.
I ended up turning that tag back in, and but that's kind of how that stuff goes. So,
Yeah.
but with this, how did we get on that topic already? Oh, we're talking
Nevada.
about how we're
leaving
going to
for 4
Nevada.
months.
Yeah.
So is this your first trip of the season? Sam?
Yeah. Just got out here, spending a week kind of just hanging out in Montana, and then obviously antelope season in Montana starts next Tuesday. So
Right, the 15th.
taking off on Monday and gonna go down and try to shoot a goat.
Are you hunting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So you're
I'm
not-
hunting on most of these trips. So
Oh, really?
I've tried to build the platform,
Oh,
so it
so-
was I was the one with the most of the tags.
On the prior podcast, we had Jason Matzinger of Into High Country on the podcast, and that's who you do most of your filming for,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Sam?
and so I'll go hunt for about a week for antelope, and hopefully be able to shoot one. Went and set blinds about a month ago, and then. On the 22nd, we're going to drive up and set up. I think we're going to go set up both elk and sheep camp, because he drew a sheep tag this year too. And then,
again.
yeah, a second one, and then we'll come back down to Bozeman and hang out for a bit, and then we're going to go up the 4th and start filming again. So.
Okay. So you're gonna let Jason hang out in your bus?
Yeah. I think
I'd charge him rent.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be in a wall tent for most of the time in his camp, just because that's, the way to do it in his elk camp. But the bus will be parked there. So I think we're going to turn it into the mobile editing studio, so we can come over and charge
there you go.
batteries and do all that
So
stuff.
anyone who hears this kind of soft fan in the background, Sam has put together something here that looks like I wonder if the space shuttle even has something like that, man. I mean,
Probably not the first one. Yeah.
35
Got marine
that's
batteries in here.
Yeah, he's got.
So I've got 2 deep cycle marine batteries that are linked in parallel.
Yep.
And then I have a converter that I can plug into a generator, which will charge the batteries, or I can hook it up to shore power or whatever, if I'm in a campground. That'll charge the batteries, and then that runs to a 3,500 watt inverter. And then I have 2 extension cords that run to the back of the bus. One that goes to my wraparound LED lights. And then the other one just goes to a power strip in the back. And then I've got a power strip up here that we're plugged into running all of the podcast equipment. So
Wow.
And you can charge your phone.
And I can charge my phone. So computer, phone, batteries, kind of important.
So compared to our operation, we go there, we sleep out in tents out in the middle of the dirty, dusty, filthy desert.
Yeah.
We got wind blowing, sand and everything. We got to run the generator all night long so you guys can charge batteries, and they're going to quit.
Yeah.
Marcus and
if I could
Michael
afford
are
them, I'd hire them to come hang out with me, but I don't
Really?
think I can.
I think free
It's high
beer would
praise.
get you there.
Yeah, I can handle free beer. I need to find a beer sponsor for this whole tour.
Oh, I know a couple that'll do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get me in touch.
I bet you Bjorn and those guys over in Missoula at Big Sky Brewery.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
I love their stuff.
Bjorn's a big hunter.
Yeah. Perfect.
Lauren, if you're listening, Lauren used to be one of my camera guys. He's one of their sales reps here in Bozeman.
Yeah. Tell him to get me in touch.
Hey, Lauren, call Sam. I'll get you his information.
Yeah. I'm not going to put out my phone number over the podcast.
No. Yeah, I give everyone my phone. We filmed a YouTube video here in my shop, and I said, now when you go to Alaska, have an oh shit bag. In other words, if things go wrong.
Yep.
And it had my name and my address and my phone number on it.
Everyone paused.
Everyone hit that. That's how dumb I am.
Did you have to get a new phone?
No,
or a new number?
But I'm like so stupid. I'm like, well, they'll never read that as fast as that went across the screen.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm getting like text messages like crazy.
Yeah, I bet that's the last time you show that.
That's probably the last time.
Well, now that you mentioned it on the podcast, they'll go find that video. Get your number.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll edit that part out.
I have to go back to that.
Blur that out a little bit, re-upload it.
Marcus was editing this day-by-day piece the other day for our Nevada deer hunt. Day 3 when Scott puts his keys underneath. Scott, the camera's rolling, and Scott hides his key in his hidey spot.
Yeah.
And he turns to the camera. He must have been talking to you.
Yeah, I don't think he was thinking about the fact that I was filming.
Yeah. He's like, well, if you come back to the truck, I always hide the keys under here.
Well, I'll make sure I don't show anybody how I lock the bus and am able to get back in. So it's kind of a secret. So
I know how you do it. Anyone who's ever owned a Bluebird school bus knows how you can do it.
Yeah.
It's a 1, 2, boom.
Yeah.
And you can do it.
I haven't done that system yet, but
really?
Yeah.
So we're getting into all kinds of tangents here. So how did this idea come about, Sam?
So it was last November. I was kind of coming off of, hunting season, towards the end of it, deer season. I'd filled my tag actually with this buck in South Dakota where I grew up. And that was public land deer. So I was pretty proud of that one.
Cool. That's a dandy.
Yeah. And, like I said before, the idea of the bus had kind of been there for a few years. And with all of the public land stuff coming down the pipeline and, watching guys like you and talk about it and backcountry hunters and anglers talk about it, I just decided that it was time and started looking on Craigslist to find a bus. And my brother actually found the bus. It was out in Fort Lupton, Colorado.
Okay.
And the guy I bought it from had bought it from a school district, from the Fort Lupton school district, and they were going to tear the engine out and put it in one of their work trucks. And it turned out they didn't need to do a whole engine swap, so he put it up for sale, and I picked it up for $3,500.
No way, you got this.
What a steal.
Yeah, and the school district had actually done a full rebuild on both the motor and the transmission. So I've got 20,000 miles on the rebuild. So
You should go to confession. You stole this
I know.
thing.
Yeah, I stole it. Yeah. So actually, I do a lot of trading, as camera guys.
So that's endemic to the production TV world. Yeah.
So I tried to trade gear first for it.
Are there any IRS auditors listening?
Yeah.
Here?
I shouldn't have said that. But no, so I tried to trade gear for it first, and he was like, well, he's like, I'll take whatever, $5,000 in gear trade or $3,500 cash. And I was like, sold. I'll give you cash.
Yeah.
I'll be out there on New Year's Eve to pick it up. So
cool.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been like rebuilding it and putting all this stuff in it?
Yeah, so I parked it behind my brother's shop for a while. I didn't drive it back to South Dakota until mid-April. But I was out there in February. We ripped all the seats out and the floor up and kind of got it cleaned out. So when I drove it in mid-April, it was completely empty and just a bunch of my gear. And then I was looking at the dates of the photos, and I actually couldn't believe it because the first coat of paint that went on the ceiling wasn't until May 28th.
Wow.
So yeah, basically Memorial Day weekend. So it was, 2 months of, a little over 2 months of getting after it. But I had photo trips and video trips in between there.
Yeah.
So I was scrambling. I was, wake up, make a pot of coffee and go work on the bus until dark and then go to bed and do it all over again.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out nice.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I'm so jealous is, like I was saying, all the listeners from the upper Midwest know what I'm talking about. Bluebird school buses were in such high demand in the 70s and 80s as campers.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you've done here, but I don't see a refrigerator for your beer. Am I missing something?
It's going to be coolers just like you guys.
Okay.
So I wanted to keep it as simple as possible just so I wasn't running gas lines everywhere or electrical stuff everywhere. I'm used to living out of tents and wall tents, so this is pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I even have it's not hooked up yet, but I'll have a sink and a tankless hot water heater so I can shower outside. And
You got an awning too, right?
Yeah. So I built the frame just out of conduit and fittings. And then I had an awning shop in Aberdeen, South Dakota, sew the whole thing up, this outside for me. So it's 10 by 20, and it just sits up right next to the bus. And so I can walk into the awning and then outside and have a tent stove in there and get that all heat up. So, when that's ready, I think we'll be able to sleep like 20. So we're going to have to do some public land parties.
We're going to have to. I want to know.
I'm in.
So I want to know where the bus is going to be, because what we need to do is we need to bring your bus and do like a live podcast with free beer.
Let's do it.
And raise money for your bus tour.
Perfect. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll probably have to be at the end of your hunting season, right?
Okay. I don't care.
Whenever.
I'm fine with whatever, man. This is like styling. We used to go to Canada because we lived right close to Ontario. We used to go to Canada every weekend fishing. And when you pulled into those who have done it, there's a bridge in International Falls that goes across the Rainy River to Fort Francis. And then from there you disperse to all the fishing in Northern Ontario. And there would be a line of school buses there, all retrofitted, just like you got here. But none of them had power steering.
Yeah.
They were all standard.
I got a pretty fancy school bus, you're saying.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, a 93, so
it's got
pretty
an
new.
air ride seat.
Air ride seat, yeah. It does not have air conditioning, though. So,
how many windows you got down here?
22. So I can open about 15 of them. Yeah, some of them are built into the bunks, so I can't open those. And,
got it.
But
so where's the public land? Did we decided, Michael and Marcus, we decided we were going to try get a name for this thing while you were here, because you said you didn't have a name for this.
Yeah, just been trying to brainstorm a name for the project. So if you guys have a good idea.
I mean, what the bus itself needs a name. Like Gilligan's Island had the SS Minnow.
Yeah, the bus is Artemis. So I do have that figured out.
Okay, so like buses, do they name it like SS or FS or?
Well, I don't.
USS.
I mean, it's when I'm driving it, my brother, he's like, you just got to think about it like you're sailing. You can't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
So 50, 55, just rolling, watching everything go by, stressing out, making sure it doesn't overheat on mountain passes.
For sure.
But we could call it the SS Artemis.
I think.
And Artemis is the Greek goddess of hunting and wild animals.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Figured that fits.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about the voyage here, the tour? Is this Grateful Dead and Leonard Skinner and Buddy Holly, and
I don't have anybody following me around yet.
Oh, that's just a matter of time. That's trust me. I live out here south of Bozeman, out in the sticks, and there's already people driving around looking like, man,
that's good. Yeah, I like to turn heads in this
guy's
thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who's Randy got over there? He's usually pretty boring.
Yeah, well, it's good. I'm glad the bus is turning heads.
So where does this core of public land discovery go from Bozeman?
So I'm actually spending quite a bit of time in Montana.
Okay.
Originally, I had the idea of doing this massive public lands tour all over the West, and that'll probably come next spring and summer.
Okay.
But this fall, I'm going to keep it pretty close, doing 3 different hunts in Montana, so antelope, elk, and mule deer.
Okay.
And then going to be doing I'll be going back and doing some whitetail stuff in South Dakota again, just because that's going home, and then going down to Kansas and hunting with my dad and brother. But then after that, I'm actually jumping into the waterfowl stuff. and going to be doing a bunch of public land waterfowl hunting, Nebraska and Kansas, and probably keep heading south with the migration. So,
Wow.
Sweet.
yeah. So, I mean, I grew up, I think I was 10 when we started waterfowl hunting. And so every weekend I was in there. I couldn't hunt yet, but I would take my BB gun and pull up, when my dad and brother would pull up. And then, from 12 until I was done with college, I mean, in college, I probably shouldn't say this if my parents listen, but I mean, I was hunting 4 or 5 days a week. So, get up before class and go hunt and walk into class just completely muddy and smelling like a duck slough. So I grew up doing the waterfowl thing, and it wasn't until I moved out to Colorado that I jumped into the big game world. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So when will the waterfall tour wrap up?
So it'll probably wrap up mid-January. And then I'll probably, McKean over at Outdoor Life, Andrew McKean was talking about doing some sort of public lands rally thing down at SHOT Show. And so I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe the bus might be there.
I'll be there.
So
you know what we ought to do? We're after SHOT Show. We're leaving right from SHOT Show, and we're going coos deer hunting in Arizona.
Well, you want me to come along?
You're more than welcome. I mean, we have the choice. We can either rent a VRBO or we can
hang out on the bus.
Rent hotels.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the old commercial? Some guy said he could fly the space shuttle because he stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, Holiday Inn
last
Express.
night.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stayed in this bus, you would probably shoot a Boone and Crockett coos deer.
I think that's a given.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just have a feeling that because of the bus, I'll have the greatest season I'll ever have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What do you guys think?
Is that an over-the-counter tag down there?
It's over the counter.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, man. Tell Andrew to come with, too.
Okay. I'll
gonna
let him know.
It's going to be a party. Aren't there already some other people coming down?
Yeah,
too?
we got
It's gonna
lots.
be like
I'll set up the awning. Bring your cot.
Hank Shaw's
So we can sleep like 20.
Hank Shaw's coming for a couple days.
Awesome.
Or maybe more. We're calling it the Sonoran Safari by Hank Shaw's.
I like it.
Kill It and Grill It.
Yep.
So every rabbit, every dove,
Everything.
duck. I shot a duck down there last year. In the desert of Arizona. There are so many ducks down there. It's crazy.
Well, I'll just continue my waterfowl season right into
we should get you in touch with Jonathan, because didn't he say that
there's a sandhill
crane season going on there?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was just wrapping up before we got there last year.
Yeah.
But it was very close to when we were down
Man,
there.
I'm just going to end up spending a month down there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to do. It's pretty cool.
And
Javelina.
Mern's quail.
Well, Traeger Grills sent me a grill.
Ooh,
and so we can plug that into the generator and we'll
what's
smoke
the deal?
stuff for...
Everybody I talked to is like, yeah, Traeger sent me a grill. Traeger sent me a grill. Oh, yeah, Traeger grill.
We just got to get you in touch.
I've been in touch with them.
Wow.
I met with them at SHOT Show, and I still got that thing over there on my back porch.
Just charcoal? Is that what you're doing still?
No, it's gas, but it's so old and decrepit. If you turn the gas up too high, I got a flame about 5 feet tall going. I feel like Tom Hanks on, what was the...
Castaway?
Castaway. Oh, I build fire. I mean, my wife will yell at me, are you warming up the grill or burning down the house? But Traeger sent you a grill.
Yeah, they sent me one of those little Tailgater Pros. So it's like the legs fold up and it's, I'll be honest, it's still in the box on my trailer. So
well, someone will steal it if you're not careful, man.
I know. I got to lock it up.
Yeah. So, and then we're trying to get Steve and Giannis for Meat Eater to come down for a couple days.
That'd be cool.
We've been trying to coordinate schedules with those guys forever.
They seem pretty busy.
They are. Yeah, I think I'm busy. I look at Giannis and I had coffee the other day, and he was telling me what their calendar is now that they're doing podcasts every week.
Yep.
I'm glad I don't have your calendar, and I think mine's bad. But anyhow, we're trying to get those guys down there. So I'm thinking that
I think the bus needs to be there.
If you're a game, we're
do it.
Game.
Yeah.
So
I'll talk
do a day-by-day hunt.
I'll talk to
episode
McKee.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
sweet.
The bus.
How do you guys hunt them down there? Is it mostly blinds over water holes? Are you spotting stock? Or are you doing?
Well, the kind of the wusses do the blind over water hole stuff. You know.
Now I feel bad. I shouldn't have said anything about sitting in over water holes for antelope.
Well, no, that's fine. I say wusses. Really, they're smart people who do that. I've got like some sort of mental disorder. I can't sit like that.
Which
for
is
very
weird
long.
being from Minnesota.
I know.
I mean, you should have that whitetail
Yeah.
like mentality where you can just shut it off.
Or that ice fishing mentality where you just sit there over a hole in the ice for hours.
Yeah. You don't have it.
Listening to Ole and Sven tell you the same joke.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah. So, no, I should have it, but I don't. So,
Yeah.
no, if you want to sit water, you're more than welcome. You'll kill one.
Perfect.
A guy like me, I'm just going to walk around. Marcus and Michael will be following me and rolling their eyes like, we got close.
Well,
Marcus.
We did. We got close on the first day.
Yeah. What was it, 30 yards?
Yeah. You were full draw.
Just didn't happen.
Do you guys enforce the TV guideline that you can't shoot them in their bed when you're filming for Jason?
I don't know. It hasn't come up.
Oh, really? Oh.
Hope you guys do.
So last year was the first time I'd filmed for Jason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did 9 days together last year, and this year I think it'll be 21. So
Okay.
we should probably talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one's going to hit TV here in a few weeks, and then it's going to hit YouTube after that. And people are going to say, why didn't you shoot that thing? We put a timer on how long I stood there.
Yeah.
I think it was 18 or 20 minutes.
Something like that.
Just never stood up.
It did.
Oh, it did.
It
eventually.
did, and then it turned and faced straight away. Well, I could have shot him in
Yeah.
his bed. He's just laying there.
Yeah.
And then we had to throw a rock at the doe to get her to leave. I'm standing there talking to Marcus, and I'm thinking, well, the doe must have ran off too. And I look over there, and you just see these big doe ears above the grass. I'm like, that stupid thing's still there. So I picked up a rock out of frustration and threw it at him. But so I don't know. Enough people listen to this podcast. Tucson might double in population. In
Everyone's just going to show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I figure with the awning, I think we could probably sleep like at least 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing you got to be careful with there is you might wake up and none of them will have U.S. citizenship.
That's true. Who was down there with you last year?
It was Marcus and me. Steve Drake was filming with us.
And Drake was doing Snapchat stuff. And it
Was he?
Yeah. And it was like the U.S. and Mexican border.
Yeah.
And like no wall, nothing. Just
Barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole wall thing that Trump has, what a joke. I mean, if you go down there and look at that and see how difficult this terrain is,
I can't even imagine.
he's smoking crack or something. Maybe that's why he's got this orange look about him or whatever. But the dude is on something to think he's going to build a wall down in that country. The terrain is just...
And not to mention just like the animal like crossing back and forth. Like how do you...
Oh, what you do is nobody hunts. From what I could gather, it looked like no one was hunting in Mexico right there. And there were some nice bucks. They don't have Onix Maps. They don't need a citizenship or an ID or a passport.
The deer are
to
the
come
people over
across.
there.
No, the deer. And you'd sit there in the morning and you'd see those deer coming off the ridges in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they'd be coming down into these bottoms, and you see this one strand. It was like a one-strand barbed wire fence. Most places it's fallen down.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I got a tag for an Arizona deer. It looks like we got an illegal immigrant here. I might need to shoot this one. Speaking of the deer, so I can't imagine how many people are going to be there now. Have we just messed up our season?
I hope not.
Have you ever been down there?
No, I mean I was in Arizona for elk hunt last year, but
Okay.
not down near the
So
border.
you guys both used to film for Midwest whitetail.
We
We'll
did.
Yeah.
We'll call it Arizona whitetail.
There we go. Yeah.
All right.
And then Aaron and Bill and all those guys will feel
They'll
like
show
they're
up
missing
too.
out.
Yeah. Warb will show up for sure.
Yeah, he would come in a second for
Oh,
sure.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, tell him if he brings beer, he's welcome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Seeing all you guys, I'm not paying for the beer tab.
No, we can handle that.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah. Well, if we get Big Sky, Big Sky on
Brewer.
board, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call Lauren and Bjorn right now. And
Perfect.
Do I get a cut if I bring you sponsorship?
Why not?
I should be your agent.
Yeah. I mean, I know you can't drink beer, but you should get a cut.
I know.
You know? Yeah.
I'll be sitting there drinking Dairy Queen milkshakes or something.
I think that's fine too.
Does Dairy Queen have milkshakes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What?
You just
I
do
might need
blizzards?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually a huge fan of the dip cone.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of a loser, but
No, there's a lot to be said for a dip cone.
yeah, I
especially
mean
on
the
a hot
classic
day
dip cone. It's some good stuff.
So when you
Does
can't-
Dairy Queen sponsor you yet?
No,
I mean,
but
they should for
I
how
was
often you
gonna
talk
br-
about them.
So I was going to bring my hat and my pin.
Yeah.
I'm like a double diamond franchise owner of Dairy Queen. This guy in, where are they from? Kansas, I think. And if they're listening to this podcast, they're going to crack up. They sent me a gift card, a shirt, a hat. Like, you don't just get this Dairy Queen hat from anywhere. You got to be like a double diamond franchise operator to get that hat. And then I got a pin. And so when I walk into the
Do you wear all three?
I did.
Yeah.
I have. I've walked in here at this Dairy Queen in town, and they look at me like, man, is this guy the regional inspector? What's the deal here? So, free ice cream.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since you can't drink beer, I mean, when you can't drink beer, you got to have other bad
That's right.
habits. So,
Yeah. Ice cream's a good choice.
Yeah. So you're going to end up in waterfall season, and if we continue to bribe you, you'll finish up in Arizona?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I can. I think that has to happen.
Okay. So,
Man, that would be fun.
Yeah, because I was kind of planning on taking a break, kind of somewhere in January, to go to SHOT Show at ATA and SHOT Show, and do that whole thing. Because as a photographer, it's kind of important to go talk to everybody at ATA and SHOT Show and make sure they still know you are alive and around.
Do you do more photography or video?
I used to do a lot of video, and then I did basically straight photography, and now it's kind of like 50-50. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, probably more photography than filming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So you
So
just got back from some cool hunts too, right?
Yeah.
In Hawaii and then
I was down in Hawaii in June. Yeah. Went
hunting
down
in Hawaii in June?
Yeah. So axis deer. So
We had a sweet little cast with you there too.
Yeah, it was awesome. Went down. Yeti actually sent me down to shoot photos of do product photography and then ambassador photography, and so it was Joe Rogan, Shane Dorian, Remy Warren, John Dudley, and then Ben O'Brien, who's the hunting marketing manager.
Right.
And so it was those guys and me, and luckily they let me get a tag on those types of hunts. And usually I'm always last up to bat.
Right.
So, but there's so many deer on the island we were on that everyone had shot a deer by day 1.5. so I got to, Ben and I actually went out for an evening hunt, and he was like, yeah, you go in on these deer, and they just work their way across the field, and I ended up shooting a pretty awesome buck at 50 yards. And yeah, so.
Is this public land, private land?
So that was a private land hunt. There's some guys that started an operation, and they've got a giant chunk of leased land. And
Gotcha.
but even on the public land, I mean, there's 18,000 deer on the island, and it's tiny. So
Whoa.
I mean, they are everywhere.
That was in June?
Yeah, in June, it's awesome. It's like the full rut right then. So there's deer chasing around and grunting and going crazy. And
Kara want to go to Hawaii?
Go on a deer hunt.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would.
you should go.
Michael?
It's cool.
I'm game. I've
He's
never
in.
been to Hawaii.
Me either.
Yeah,
I've never been to Hawaii.
We weren't exactly roughing it on that hunt.
yeah.
We stayed in a condo at the Four Seasons. So it was pretty funny because so Joe Rogan was actually staying at the hotel. And so he'd walk back into the hotel, like just covered, full camo, face paint with his bow. But everybody at the hotel was like, "Oh, how'd you do?" Like they were all, excited to hear how he had done. But yeah, it was a pretty fun hunt. And then before that, I was down in New Zealand in May doing photography on a tar and chamois hunt. So
Wow.
yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I don't take you to enough places.
I think we get to go enough places.
We got a lot of stuff on the docket this year.
I know this year Marcus is going to be the dude in front of the camera.
nice.
He's shooting Wyoming elk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded pretty confident that I'm shooting an elk.
I am. Well, you told me.
I think attitude going into the season is important.
I mean, his
you know?
his Christmas bonus is depending upon whether or not he kills that elk.
That way you can make another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
mean, I got either sex tag. I'm shooting the first thing that has. I don't care if
Anything.
it's a cow,
Yeah.
a calf.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect would be like a 1.5 year old cow.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Our buddy Bo is bringing his llamas. This
Nice.
is like spoiled.
Yeah.
And Michael's got to run the camera.
And I'm going to run the camera.
I think that's perfect.
Lay down some pretty average footage.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
No, Michael, you have to be confident.
Yeah. That's what they teach at Midwest Whitetail, though.
Right.
Average.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
As long as it's as long as it's above.
Static shots.
Yeah, a lot of static, no pans,
Yeah.
just It's like the movie Fargo, just tripod, it's just straight static shot.
Orb's going to be
That's it.
so pissed.
Yeah, he
Well,
is.
you know the movie Fargo?
Yeah.
My mom has red hair and was a waitress, and she has that northern Minnesota accent. And if she's listening
Did
to
she
this,
go as Marge?
My mom is going to kill me if she's listening to this. But the number of people who meet my mom back when that
Yep.
movie, what was that, like 20 years ago when that movie was there?
I don't know. I wasn't alive, I don't think.
Okay. who would hear my mom and see her and say,
Marge?
and my mom has never seen the movie.
Oh, man.
But anyone listening to this in northern Minnesota who knows my mom, they're probably rolling on the floor laughing right now because it's like a perfect fit. So,
That's great.
wow, there's a lot of things we could do with this bus now. All for the cause of public land. I mean,
Yeah.
So
Yep.
BHA is Backcountry Hunters and Anglers having their rendezvous in Boise in April.
Well, I'll have to be there. I'm going to have to
You
bring the
think
bus.
the bus will be there?
I don't see why not.
I think that would be so cool. You
Let's
could
see.
charge admission.
Is that mid-April? I'll have to go
I
do a
think
little
it's-
bit of turkey hunting and then go to
I think it's
Boise.
early
and then-
April.
Oh, perfect. That'll
So
work.
I think what you should do is you should bring the bus down there and auction off a night in the bus.
That would be perfect.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I think that would be like so cool.
Well, I can sleep 5, or if I set up, if I do the whole thing, I'll auction off 12 spots, get to lay up cots and the whole thing.
Cool. I mean, this bus is going to do more for public land than I could ever imagine.
I sure hope so. I mean, that's,
It will.
yeah. I think it's been kind of cool, doing the whole build. It seems like it, obviously I'm hunting and fishing and whatever for the next year and camping and backpacking and all that stuff. But it seems like it didn't matter what genre of person, they were watching the build of the bus and people reaching out, this is so cool, love following along. So it's been cool to see the reaction of people to building basically a little tiny home.
Yeah.
So thank God for the tiny home movement right now.
Yeah. The lady over in that house right there, my wife.
Yep.
She's peeking through the window, checking
Well, we're
this
gonna
out.
have to give her a tour when we're done with this.
She watches, there's Tiny Home Nation,
Yep.
Tiny Home this.
Yep.
She is always telling me, we're selling this big ugly thing and we're getting a tiny home. I think she just wants to get rid of my taxidermy.
You're gonna have to move it all into the shop.
Yeah, probably where it would. Most of mine's there anyhow.
Yeah.
Now, if my son shoots something,
Yeah.
it
goes up. It's
full
okay.
body mount. got a spike whitetail full body mount. Oh, not quite that bad, but hey, Michael, can you check that recorder? Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
There's a glare on there. I was like, oh no, don't tell me we've just lost all this great stuff. But so how did you get attached to the public land thing? Did you say it was in Colorado when you really got into it, or was it even in South Dakota?
Even in South Dakota, I mean, growing up waterfowl hunting, there's a ton of waterfowl production areas and walking areas, and just general federal lands. It doesn't have a
you know
a
that
label on it.
now South Dakota is going to get inundated with waterfowl hunters because you said
no.
that.
So the best thing about South Dakota, and I'm a non-resident now, but the best thing South Dakota did is it's a draw as a waterfowl hunter in South Dakota.
Well,
Yeah.
Hold
Right.
on.
No. Yeah.
That's bass backwards. What's the deal now?
They've done an awesome job protecting the hunting culture for the residents because waterfowl hunting is so big for the residents in South Dakota.
Okay.
You have to apply in June
if you're a non-resident.
if you're non-resident, and it's not a guaranteed tag. It's I applied, didn't draw, and then I drew the next year, and then right now I applied last year and got a point because I didn't draw, I got a point, and so I held off for this year, so I'm going to all apply next year and hopefully get a tag. But I focused on deer this year, so I didn't want to be torn between hunting mallards and whatever. But I think the original waterfowl production area is actually in South Dakota up in the northeast corner, and so I think I'm going to take my dad up there and do a hunt one of those November mornings and kind of tell the story of the the Waterfall production area history and stuff. But yeah, I just, I grew up hunting public land mostly for waterfowl, and then, moving west and starting to hunt elk and deer and everything. Without the access to public lands, I wouldn't be able to hunt. Like, I just don't have the money to pay trespass fees or leases and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to be able to just get the tag and go walk out onto however many hundreds of thousands of acres and just go hunting. So I think growing up with that, when everything was coming down the pipeline, I just felt compelled to kind of preach that message. And everybody I've talked to, there's so many people I've talked to that have no idea that it's happening, or no idea that it's threatened. And that's across the board. That's hunting and fishing, hunters and fishermen that don't know what's going on. And there's a ton of people that just do camping and backpacking stuff, love to go out west and do all of it out here, that don't even know the message. So I thought a bus would be a good public lands billboard.
Well, these two guys, Michael and Marcus, are like on opposite ends of that spectrum, because Marcus grew up in Dillon, Montana, which is mecca for public land.
Yeah.
Everything you'd ever want to do.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Montana in general, really.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a time where it's like, oh, I don't have anywhere to hunt?
No. I guess the public land whitetails were slightly trickier because a lot of the river bottoms are private.
Yeah.
So.
And then you got Michael, who grew up in Ohio, where there's not a lot of public land.
There's not. There is some, but you have 12 million people in Ohio, and you have 1 million people in Montana.
Yeah.
And you have, triple the amount of land out here.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. And moving out here, it's really opened my eyes to how much public land means to people in the West, especially.
Yeah.
And if people in the East and Midwest would understand that, and I think you're going to help out with, sharing your journey. It's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed following your Instagram, Michael, there's not a lot of days you're not out filming, scouting, photographing, hiking.
Out here especially, back home it was a little different. You're walking around. Public land was, you're parked down the street. Or if I wanted to go, if I wanted to go hunt some good public, I'd have to drive, at least 3 hours down south or something. But out here, I've just loved it so much. Every night after I come home from work, I'm either out going fishing on some public land or out doing some hiking or scouting, getting ready for the season, whatnot. Yep. So
it's definitely eye-opening coming from the Midwest. Because you grew up in International Falls, and but moving out here and just having the whole mountain range as your playground.
Oh, it's so spoiled. Yeah. I still can't believe I live here. I've lived in the West now. I left Minnesota when I was 20. So 32 years I've been in the West. And I love Minnesota. I love the Midwest. I love so many things about it. But for who I am and what I do,
you can't beat Montana.
You'd have to put me in the nut house if you drug me back to some other place. You'd have to. I did need serious. I don't know if Obamacare covers psychiatric treatment, but I'd need it, no doubt. So, so some other things that we wanted to cover are we're doing something new this year. I'd be interested in your thoughts on it, Sam. And this is a product, a little bit of at the prodding of Marcus and Michael. We did a bear hunt this spring. And we kind of stole the idea from Casey and Brian and Eric on the Hushin YouTube channel. But Brian says they stole it from me out on my Hunt Talk forum, because I used to do these live hunts on Hunt Talk where I'd just talk. I'd be out there with my phone saying, this is blah, blah, blah. We're going to kill this elk. Tune in 20 minutes. And I'd come back and there'd be 500 guys hitting the refresh button on my forum.
Yep.
And so Brian and Casey said, they saw that. And so they did in Colorado a couple of years ago. They did they call it a semi-live hunt. I don't know what we call them, day by day or as. I
don't know if we have a name for it.
We don't have a name.
We don't have a name. Yeah.
We're all lacking names and titles.
Pretty bad.
We got to work on this nomenclature stuff. But so anyhow, we are going to, on our YouTube channel, almost make this season its whole YouTube story from start to finish.
Cool.
And we're going to talk about where we're going. Here's what the calendar looks like. Here's how few days we're going to be home.
Yep.
How few showers we get. How many crappy meals we got to eat.
Yep. How many showers? What do you average a week?
Showers.
I'm usually one a week per. They're all fall.
When we're out in camp, I'm like Mr. Clean compared to most people, because when you get to be a certain age, you're like, you know what? I don't have to stink this bad. So I've got my own bathing kit that is a wash basin and soap, and I bring washcloths and soap and shampoo for everybody and towels.
Yeah.
But I noticed, not making any claims here, but I noticed that I use mine a lot more than camera guys tend to use theirs. So I'm thinking like every 2 or 3 days for me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because there's just some people who get pretty ripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and
I think I do too, but most of the time I just don't care.
Well, that's it. You don't care about yourself. It's the guy with you who's like, man, this guy got an allergy to soap, or what's the deal here?
So when you're on your hunts, do you share a tent with someone, or is it usually?
Well, it depends,
Right, okay.
but yeah, usually.
Okay.
Really? That's a rule. I am not sharing a tent with anybody, man. I got my Hillyberg, and I've got one that's a 4-man tent.
Yeah.
And that's
Just for you?
Just right.
Just enough room. Yeah.
So, I mean, if somebody thinks they're getting in my tent with me, her name better be Kim Newberg. That's the only person getting in that tent.
That's
with
probably
me.
how I should start running it. But I've shared some pretty close quarters.
Well, especially when you're in, the backcountry and hiking real far back, you want to, stay low on the weight side. So it makes sense to.
Yeah, but I can bring 2 ounces of shampoo and take a soap bar and break it in half. And I can go to a cold stream, and when you're in a cold stream, you get your stuff done really quickly.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how well that afternoon nap feels after you've washed all the chiggers and the crickets and snails out of your hair. And you go take a nap, you get up, you're ready to go after. But I don't know.
I'm sorry I got off on that tangent.
No, I bet you the audience is wondering that same thing. When you guys live on the road for 100 days a year.
Yeah.
And a lot of the TV and other producer stuff, it's motels and lodges.
Yep.
Not for, the school bus would be like such a luxury. I'm like coveting. What's one of the commandments? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor.
You're coveting the bus?
I'm covetous at this point. But I don't know. Last year, Marcus, we managed. The downside is like that Wyoming elk hunt we did with Pat that year, 2 years ago. The wind blows, and it's November, and it's 10 degrees.
Yeah.
The good part is you don't get as lathered up. So it takes a few more days for the bacterial growth to get that.
And then it's just a lot of unscented baby wipes,
Oh, yeah. Baby wipe-a-dipes, whatever you want to call them. That's funny. Yeah, we travel with large, we are Costco shoppers when it comes to baby wipes. And TP.
Yeah, the 100-pack.
Yeah. But, no, that's, so how did we get off on that? We were talking about
the day-by-day or semi-live YouTube channel. Yeah.
So we kind of decided we're going to do that this year. And how we got talked into it is we did a 12-day bear hunt in May and June. Mm-hmm. And I was worried, man, we aren't seeing any bears. No one's going to want to watch this. And these guys are like, oh, don't worry about it. Just let's throw it up there. So we did.
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Was that my phone? Sorry if it was. And I better turn that off.
Well, that's just crap.
Yeah, it was Greg from Keep It Public. He wants to know what I'm doing in the Keep It Public school bus.
Oh, well, we'll have to get in touch.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, you didn't know it, but you're on the podcast here from Keep It Public.
Yeah. Well, no, if those guys want to hop on board and help share the story, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so, I'm sure we can talk to them about that.
I think the more people spreading the word about the bus, the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how are you sharing the story?
So I've been working with Andrew McKean over at Outdoor Life, and I think the plan is to have the majority of the content first run through the open country section of their website.
Yeah.
And so I'll be doing kind kind of photo essay style stuff, and then short social media videos about the hunts and different trips and stuff. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Will you, or does this project have its own website or Facebook page? Or?
So I'm going to have everything live through, actually just launched the website last night, Public Land Tees. So just my brother and I started a shirt company to help fund the bus project. And
we need everybody to pitch in here. So now how can they buy a shirt and help fund the project?
So just go to publiclandtees.com.
Tees, not like
Tees. Yep, like t-shirts. Yeah.
Public Land Tees.
Tees. Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
Right here.
Right here.
Yep.
I guess but the podcast audience
No,
can't
they won't
see
be able
that.
to see it. So it's just
because
Public
when
Land.
you said that, I'm like tease, like someone. Yeah.
So publiclandtees.com.
Like t-shirts with a plural.
I like drinking tea.
Yeah. Not like
not with Michael, not TEA.
Yeah. TEES.
This guy, get him off the podcast.
TEES.
Yeah.
Public TEES.com.
Yep.
They buy a shirt.
So, and then $5 from every shirt sold goes to backcountry hunters and anglers to help them lobby against, for public land access and to keep public lands public.
Cool.
And then the rest goes to helping fund this whole thing.
I hope this doesn't turn into like my TV operation did.
What's
where
that?
It's a job you bought.
Yeah, hopefully not. But the good news is I'm in charge of marketing and design of all the shirts.
Okay.
And my brother's in charge of all the logistics. So if he has to quit his day job and just be shipping t-shirts, that would be perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully his employer doesn't hear you say that.
Well, he owns his own business, so it's fine. Yeah. So
what does it cost to, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what does it cost to fill up this bad boy with gas?
So it's a 60-gallon tank, and it's about roughly $2.50 a gallon for diesel. So it's expensive.
Some money. Some money.
But I was pumped. So I filled up in Bowman, North Dakota, and then I stopped in Park City, Montana, just to let the bus cool down a little bit and take a break. And I filled up and I did the math, and I got 9.2 miles to the gallon.
No way.
Yeah. And it's basically uphill from Bowman to Park City.
Right.
So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my Tacoma.
Yeah. You might want to have that checked out. But no, pulling a 6x10 utility trailer with a four-wheeler and coolers and stuff and the whole, a 20,000-pound bus, I was pretty happy with 9.2.
Impressive, especially with an automatic transmission.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you taken her off road yet?
No, not like real off road.
Before the podcast, we were talking about what tires cost. You don't want to take it off road.
Yeah. So
that's what you need. You need a website pledge where I pledge to repair the first flat tire.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We need like
I hope somebody from Michelin hears this, or one of the tire companies.
Yeah.
And they can just be like, we'll give you a little discount on on knobby tires.
There you go.
So yeah.
So you got your website you just launched,
and then I'll have a whole page. I'm building the page in the next few days, or actually my web designer is, but it's going to have all of the stuff about the bus, and then I'll be updating that as well. So
cool.
Yeah.
Dinner. I'm telling people they better donate.
That'd be great.
Early and often.
Yeah.
Do you have a donate button out there?
No. So I haven't built
it's
a donate
that
button.
Midwestern thing of, well, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm asking for money.
Yeah.
Well, the dude needs money, folks.
If you want to just donate money, just send an email to the email on the website, and we'll take your money. So.
All right.
Yeah, gladly. So,
because it's important. I mean, you're taking a whole year out of your productive livelihood to do this.
Yeah. So luckily I've had a bunch of companies believe in me and have helped, pitch in on the build and stuff, and are going to pitch in on travel and whatever. But yeah, it's going to be a long year in a bus, and just out there preaching the public lands word. So,
are you planning on it being a 1-year thing, or are you going to do it for multiple years, or is that just...
No, I'm pretty much planning on it being a 1-year thing for now, and then I'll feel it out after that. Okay. So I think if I can't get the message across in a year, then I'm doing something wrong.
Okay.
So, like, what's it going to cost me for first right of refusal on the bus when it's sent to retirement?
We can talk off podcast on that. I don't want to have all your listeners, start a bidding war on the side.
Well, that
wouldn't be too bad
for you. I mean,
well, like, see, what should we start at? Like $20,000 for the bus?
Well, maybe there's listeners who would pay for that. I don't know.
So it costs, with the awning, I think the whole project cost me about 12.
Really?
So bus,
Not counting your labor.
not counting labor. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be about 40. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that worries me is, I know you don't want to quote unquote pimp it out, but how are people going to know this is the core of Discovery, the public land, the Voyager, the whatever?
Yeah, I know.
How do you do that? How do people know? Hey, I mean, like when Willie Nelson's outfit is heading down the interstate,
it's Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I don't have an answer for that.
Really?
I've just been trying really hard to keep it just clean. No stickers, no. I just don't want to look like the NASCAR bus rolling down the road.
I got friends in NASCAR. They'll set you up.
They'll wrap it for me.
They'll do the whole thing. I bet you're Ryan. Do you know Ryan here? Ryan Reichert at Wraps here in Bozeman?
I don't. We just need, I think the only way I'd wrap it is if Sitka wanted to wrap it in Optifade. The whole sub-alpine bus.
Or open country.
That would be sweet.
The waterfall pattern.
That would be pretty cool. The waterfall pattern would be pretty cool.
Because there was a guy who had a bus like this in my hometown.
Yeah.
He painted it like this really ugly camouflage. So when
You just call up my roommates.
Yeah. your roommates might have been related to him. And the idea was that way he could drive it further out towards the duck blinds out.
I like it.
In Grigla, Minnesota, over in the North Dakota direction, over in northwestern Minnesota, there's Lake Agassiz and all these places, and convoys of people would go there duck hunting.
Yeah.
And they all had school buses. And Bill's was kind of like, it really didn't even look like camo. It was such a bad paint job. I think he's colorblind because it was more blue than it was green.
I mean, it'd be hard for me to wrap it now because I spent 3 days in a metal shed in South Dakota painting this thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Painting it hunter green and gloss almond.
Well, maybe you could sell the real estate on each window and say, all right, Sitka, here, you get this window. We'll put a decal on there.
$5 million.
Yeah. Just start high, Yeah. Or maybe I need to do like a massive something on the top.
On the top.
Yeah.
Like,
so like when there's drones or something flying over.
we got a drone. Should we? That's what we need to do. We need to drone you when you're driving across the country.
I've got one too.
Oh, do you? So, well, you don't need us then.
Just need to have it, put it in track mode and fly it down the road.
Well, I like the way it looks.
Thank you.
I do too.
I bet. Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
No,
I've been trying to keep it pretty clean, but yeah.
Well, I just want people to know, and you probably want to stay lower key because it's like, I don't want the whole world knowing where I'm at.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to figure out
I think we can get
how
enough
to do
people
that.
following along online that they'll know the bus.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
And if I'm at a campground parked or whatever, in a trailhead or whatever, I feel like people are going to come up and talk to me.
Yeah. Probably.
So,
if I saw you, even if I didn't know who you were, I go and talk to anyone who owns a school bus.
Yeah.
They're like, they should be president, man. I go up and I talk to them. I want the details. I want what's under the hood. What year is it?
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
My Uncle Elton had one of these, man. We had some good times in there.
If there's a diesel mechanic out there, I have some questions about overheating.
Really?
So I think I need to replace the thermostat in it. So,
do we know any diesel
having trouble
There's
on
probably one listening.
Yeah. It's having trouble on mountain passes. So I've had to slow down a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Pull over,
thermostat
let it cool down.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I'm guessing.
Well, you're probably starting something here, Sam. I bet you next year there's going to be guys floating the Mississippi from Lake Itasca all the way to the delta of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be like the Huck Finn sort of raft that is the public land raft.
Perfect.
And some guy's going to float a hot air balloon from Reno to Nashville or something.
That's just fine. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If we get more people on board with this, the more the better.
How cool would that be if all of a sudden everyone's like, I want to be Sam?
Perfect. Well, I don't know if any.
we need some of those shirts. Sam for president. Vote for Sam.
Sam.
I think I'll leave the politics for my mom. She's a Republican senator in South Dakota. I'll just leave.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just. I don't think I'm made for politics.
Really? Okay.
But it would be fun to see those shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that movie where the guy vote for Pedro?
Vote for Pedro.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We vote for Sam.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. No. So you, as far as the feedback so far,
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Wide Open Spaces just saw my post.
The website.
The website.
So they can go and read, because I saw it out there. It's wideopenspaces.com.
Yep.
They repurpose a lot of our stuff too. And that's, I was looking for ours and I saw yours. I'm like, crap, looks like Sam's going to be in town.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had put out a Facebook post just kind of with photos of the build and kind of what I was up to. And the guy who wrote the article reached out to me. And he's like, hey, I just saw this floating around. We're going to do an article on it. Do you want to add anything? So I sent back a bunch of stuff talking about the build and how much it costs and kind of what I was up to. And they posted it. So, it's I guess it's growing.
Cool.
So, but no, the feedback has been huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the Facebook page, is there a Facebook page?
No, not yet. Right now I've just been pushing everybody to my Instagram page.
Okay. What's the Instagram page?
It's just at Sam Soholt.
At Sam Soholt.
Yep.
SOHOLT.
LT. Yeah. Just like it sounds.
All right. So you don't have some funky handle like at Sam the Man?
No, I don't. Kept the brand just me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Following in your footsteps, just
at
Randy Newberg.
Yeah. I try to be pretty simple about that. I learned how to spell my name like in 8th grade.
Yep. That's
and
good.
I figured.
Early on then.
Yeah, early on. Yeah,
For somebody from Minnesota anyway.
Right. I mean, I was telling these guys this in my grade school. There's a guy, he, I think when I was in 5th grade, he finally quit. He was in my uncle's class, and then he was in my other classes. He just stayed in 5th grade forever. And finally, when I got in 5th grade, he quit and went to work as a commercial truck driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Right then.
Yeah. We didn't even have a desk for him. We had a table. I mean, he's so big.
So how old was he? Was he like 16? Like
16, 17.
Jeez.
Teacher would send him down to the store to get cigarettes for break time over.
I really hope this is a true story.
All my friends back in Big Falls, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, that's kind of.
That's a lot of years of flunking 5th grade.
Well, it wasn't really flunking. I was just not caring.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you go play football, with the guy who's 17 and you're 9, and
you didn't have ringers when you were in Pee Wee football? Like guys over a certain weight had to wear a red ring around their helmets? Okay.
No, that'd have been half the team.
They're growing big up there.
Well, they growing big, or they just don't make it. They didn't advance that far.
Just hold back a little bit.
Yeah. But so if you listen to Garrison Keeler, you'll know how he talks about us folks up in northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
My dad, till the day he died, he used to call him that Garrison, that Keeler blankety blank. And my dad hated him. I'm like, Dad, he's funny. No, he's not. He's a blankety blank. I'm like, Dad, the way he talks about us is true. No, he's not. If I saw that son of a bitch, I'd run him over. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe we can't find good humor at our own expense. At least my dad couldn't find humor at his own expense. But Garrison Keeler's right on when he talks about northern Minnesota people. So.
Yeah.
But so you've got that schedule going this year.
Yep.
We've got our calendar. We're gonna wrap it up in Arizona in January.
Yeah.
And you said that's right after SHOT Show?
Yeah. Yeah. So in the interim, we're going to be in, Nevada, New Mexico a couple times. This year is like Arizona year.
Yep.
This is a crazy Arizona year. Last year,
3 or 4 times we're going there.
Yeah.
I think
it's just going to be a warm year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm cool with that.
So I've got an elk tag, so we'll be down there in October for that. And then we'll be down there the first week in November because we have deer tags, me and my buddy Wade.
Perfect.
That one will be fun.
Yeah, that's Kaibab deer hunt. And then Jerry's got the elk tag. I promised.
Oh, yeah.
I promised Jerry if he drew, we'd come down and film and help out. And Gerber is sending a couple of their product design people on that hunt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they said,
Sweet.
They said, well, if you guys shoot something, we're the ones who are in charge of gutting and gilling. I'm like, you guys are going to have to bend arms with me. This is weird, Sam. I mean, some people think I validate frequently that I'm weird. But I love the field dressing. Yeah. I don't care if it's birds, critters like beaver and muskrats that I trap, or deer or elk or whatever. So when the Gerber guys are like, no, we want to come down and do a bunch of product testing on some new stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, but
like, how about you just watch?
Yeah,
and I'll test it.
That was kind of my thought. But if they're coming all the way from Portland, I want to make sure.
Suppose you got to give them a little chance.
Yeah. So they're coming to Arizona with us, and then we'll be
Bighorn
down.
sheep, right?
That's Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy
Same
Mike.
difference.
Nevada, Arizona.
See, Michael.
They're warm.
Michael, look at that. My wife is over there checking you out, Sam. She's like, she's got her little dog with her. She's waving to us. She's like, I wonder if that little dog could live in that tiny house.
Well, I'll give her a full tour when we're done with this. So.
All right. She might be bashful. She usually stays awake because she doesn't like to be on camera.
Well, she doesn't have to be on camera.
I know, but if these guys come out here with the cameras and we're filming,
back in the house.
She's in the house, and if they walk in with a camera that's not in one of the Pelican cases, they're just holding it in their hand.
Yeah.
She'll pull me aside. Were they filming me? You delete that. You grab that card and you delete that. Honey, I've been doing this 10 years. Have you ever showed up on TV? Well, no, but
you never know.
Yeah. So,
Michael's a new camera guy, so
right.
Can't trust him.
Get in there, document the Newbergs.
New reality show.
So we're gonna be in Wyoming. Marcus is gonna shoot a Boone and Crockett elk up in the mountains. Of Wyoming.
Wow, we're really getting ambitious.
Yeah.
I was gonna shoot a raghorn.
That's fine.
Wait, is it either sex tag?
It is.
So I could shoot a spike.
Right.
They're like the dumbest things in the world.
It's any elk.
We should shoot spikes.
We should.
Or a cat.
I'm thinking.
We should see who can shoot one the closest. We should make a competition. Like who can shoot
closest to the truck.
No, closest to you.
Oh,
Or
who could get the closest? I got you. Oh, no, I'm thinking like closest to the truck.
Closest to the truck. All right.
If you shoot one closer to the truck than I do, you get to be the boss for a month.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I was going to say, but when you do that, you're the one who's got to write checks to cover payroll.
Yeah.
So we're going to be in Wyoming. Where else are we going to be? Montana. When are you going to be in eastern Montana? Deer hunting. November?
End of October.
Oh, we're not going to be there till the middle of November. Dang.
Shoot.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll be deep into whitetail stuff by then. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You want to bring the bus down on a moose hunt?
Where's that?
Here in Montana.
When?
I think sometime I got to wait till Matthew tells us what his calendar is. He just got a new job, so he's trying to convince his employer of the importance of moose hunting.
Yeah.
Some employers don't
one.
quite understand that, but I think I've got him convinced that if they won't let you do it, quit that job.
Yeah.
I know
I think that's the right answer.
It took him 5 years to get that job of his dreams, but if they aren't going to let you go moose hunting, it's not the job of your dreams. You quit those kind of jobs.
That's not worth it.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be in late October.
Okay.
Oh, the wind is blowing through the windows here.
Put a window up.
Nah, we're not. We want the full effect.
Good.
Feels good.
Yeah, since Michael hasn't showered for 3 weeks. That's
3 days.
Hasn't showered since he moved out to Montana.
Yeah,
So.
that's right. That's right. So you could bring it out for that.
Well, yeah, keep me posted, depending on where I'm at.
I mean, I think you need a set of antlers or something on the hood.
I know. Need to make that happen. So.
Do you need a set? I got a whole shop full of them here if you need them.
Elk or what?
But you name it, you can have them. I don't care.
All right, we'll go take a look.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But if Matthew shot a moose.
Put it on there. Yeah. He probably wouldn't like that.
I don't know that he'd care. I'd like it because then I wouldn't have to pay for the bill to get a Euro mount or a taxidermy mount. Because as tight as he is,
he wouldn't do it himself.
No, what he'd do is that lady who just walked out here, my wife, his mom, he'd say, "Mom, that'd look nice on your wall."
She'd go, "Okay."
She'd say, "Okay," and so she'd
and then she'd pay for it.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Your mom probably do the same thing.
No, she doesn't like taxidermy.
I know. My wife doesn't either. She hates it.
I tried to hang this up in our cabin.
Yeah.
So I shot the deer. I did my own Euro mount. I love doing that. I love the process of that. And had it done within a day and hung it up on the wall. And we had just put new pine in that room, and I hung it up, and she came up like, it must have been this spring. She was like, what's the deal with that?
Oh, really?
I was like, that's the deer I shot last year. She's like, yeah, but you put a nail hole in that pine. I was like, oh, yeah.
My wife says, in your family, that might be art, but in my family, those are just dead animals. Get them out of here. Unless they're my sons.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's exceptions.
That's but the Euro mount thing, Marcus is like the Euro mount king of the world.
I'll just bring everything to him then.
There you go. he can, he can do a Euro mount over lunch.
No kid.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, long lunch. About give me 3 hours and I get it done.
Yeah.
How many Euro mounts do you think you've done?
I don't know, a lot. I used to do them for money. Or, well, no, I didn't do that because I don't think that's legal with a taxidermy license. But
do it for free beer.
Yeah.
The college kids got to do what they got to do.
Got to do what you got to do.
Statute of limitations is probably expired.
No, it kind of sucks because then all my family members bring their deadheads to my house, just expecting me to do them for free every year now.
Right after they've left them in the sun in the back of the truck for 4 days and maggots are crawling out the ear holes. They're like, here, Marcus, I got something for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? My wife, she did her own. Was it last year?
Yeah.
I think because we were gone when she shot her deer.
That's right.
And she boiled it herself and did it herself. And now so I know she knows how to do it. I don't have to do hers anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
Man.
Carrie, that's probably not the way it'll work out.
I was going to say, Carrie, if you're listening to this, straighten him out, would you? No, I don't have to do him anymore or hers anymore. That's a line of BS. That's like the guys who say, oh, I'm going to wear the pants around my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your wife lets you. But that's... Usually we get into marital advice on this podcast. But I've been trying to avoid that lately. Yeah. There's a couple things I've been avoiding lately is public land politics just because we really got heavy into it last winter because all the states were in their legislative sessions and Congress had just convened and all the crazy idiots from Utah decided they had all these dumb ideas. So we had no choice but to really get into it.
Yeah, you got to talk about it.
But on Monday, we're doing a podcast. Me, Ryan Callahan, big BHA guy, Giannis Putelis, and we're trying to figure out who else has a political background. We've invited 2 people who do a lot of politics stuff, and they're a little more subdued than I am.
Yeah.
But we're really going to get into it.
Cool. I look forward to listening to it.
If you're a Utah politician on Monday, your ass is going to be burning.
As it should be.
It should be because people are like, well, why are they doing all these stupid things, this new administration? And if you were following along in how everything is working, a lot of it's coming out of Utah.
Yep.
I don't know what it is in the water, the air, or whatever, but you must just have to be an idiot to get elected in Utah.
Yeah, you must.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it.
and so all these dumb ideas, like, what's the most recent one? They don't like the sage grouse plan. So they said there wasn't enough local input. And Marcus, you count, and when you, back in your days as a biologist, you spent summers counting sage grouse.
Well, I wasn't a biologist. I was just a technician.
Okay. Technical difference.
Wasn't that fancy.
All right. But you spent a lot of time working on all these sage grouse inventories, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I did surveys up on the High Line, and then I worked on a research project. So down in southwest Montana. So.
Yeah. And so all these state plans come together, and Matt Mead is the governor of Wyoming, did a great job. He's kind of the leader of telling the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, we need to let the states run sage grouse management. Every Western state was on it. Didn't matter if they were Republican, Democrat governors. They're like, yeah, let our state agencies do it. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said, yeah, that's a unique approach. Let's let the states do this. One state bitched and moaned.
Utah.
They complained there wasn't enough local input. Well, I think that is because the people that they listen to in Utah, and I better not say that. I was going
You said you weren't going to get into it.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Here we go. You can't get into it till Monday.
Anyhow. So the reason, so here's their theory. We should go and let all the sage grouse habitat get destroyed and we'll raise them like chickens and we'll just release them. That's kind of what they're talking about.
Well, there's, I can't see any flaws in that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There's no way that would work.
No, it wouldn't. We prove it every year when we release pheasants.
Yeah.
In places where pheasants don't have natural reproduction, they raise them and they go release them. And I think within a week, they're all eaten by birds of prey and fox and weasels and mink.
And pheasants are a lot more
hardy than
they're hardier, than sage grouse for sure.
Right. So that's kind of in a nutshell, the Utah solution of how we keep sage grouse intact.
Yeah. Turn it into a zoo, basically.
And so the Utah folks have convinced the administration that we know what we're talking about. So right now, all the other Western states, we're treated like colonies of Utah. And that pisses me off to a point where if I saw some of those Utah guys, it'd be all I could do to not kick them.
I think that video would go viral.
You think so?
That's what
Randy Newberg kicks politician.
I would never do that. But
I know.
But, I come from Montana where when you run for office, you body slam reporters. I mean,
it's standard practice.
Yeah. I mean, that just comes with territory here. So those guys better watch out if they start pissing me off. That's all in humor, folks.
It's just jokes.
I can see some FBI Secret Service guy coming like, Newberg, we're here to check you out.
I heard what you said about the Utah politicians.
Yeah. Well, here's how it works, though, in Utah is once you get elected, you're elected for life. They never unelect anybody.
There's no term limit?
Look at Orrin Hatch. Orrin Hatch voted on the Civil War, whether or not to go to war with the South.
And he's still there.
He's
voting
still
on
there.
sage grouse.
Who is this guy?
Orrin Hatch. He's so old. He's a senator from Utah.
Okay.
Moby Dick wasn't even a minnow when he got elected to start with. And so what happens is these guys in Utah never get unelected.
So they don't have term limits.
No. And so you have this seniority system. Why is Rob Bishop the chairman of the House Natural Resources Committee? Certainly not because he's qualified.
Just because he's been there a long time.
He's been there forever. And he'll never get unelected. Orrin Hatch will die in Congress, which everyone keeps saying that. They've been saying that for like 12 years. And
how old is he, actually?
I have no idea. We should Google it. I bet you.
What's his name?
Orrin Hatch.
Warren, like Warren Buffett?
Owen, O-R-N. I mean, I've met him. He's a nice enough guy. But the things that he listens to out of some of the bad ideas that come out of there, I mean, that is the home of the sell the public land movement.
Yeah.
He's 83. He's from Pittsburgh, too.
What, he's only 83?
That makes a lot of sense. He's 83. He was born March
15 years.
22nd, 1934.
He must have gotten voted in when he was 12 or something.
He doesn't look that old. I mean, 80.
I don't know. Maybe C-SPAN makes you look
looks like he's got
then.
a bunch of plastic in his face, maybe.
No, but anyhow, that is why Utah right now has so much influence. Utah theory, Utah ideas,
because they've been
ideology.
there so long.
Yeah, in Montana, if you screw around with public lands, you're going to be down in the unemployment line.
Yeah.
In Idaho, you screw around with public lands, you better get your resume polished up.
Yeah.
Well, then how is it so different in Utah then?
I have no idea. I know so many great people from Utah, hunters, hardcore hunters. They love public lands. I'm like, how are you guys voting? I don't know if when the Trump talks about voter fraud, I don't know, maybe it's all happening in Utah or something. That's how these guys get elected, because all the hunters I know in Utah are like really cool people.
So we just need to help them rally around voting somebody else in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know what they're saying. Newberg, you live in Montana. Why do you care about this? The reason I care about it is because that infestation, that plague, that pox on the landscape is now across the West. And we got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I said I wasn't going to get into politics.
Well, we can move on to something else now.
Yeah. So Monday, we're really going to get into it, though. I mean, like, we probably couldn't do it in this bus. We're probably going to have to do it in like the octagon, the MMA mat, because it's going to get pretty wild. But that's why I'm having some real moderated kind of professional person who spends a lot more time than I do in DC there to kind of calm it down.
Yeah, it's probably a good plan.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I might wake up after that podcast release. I won't have any sponsors. I won't have anything. I'll have militia sitting out in my driveway there.
Well, I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not the case, but if so, take a number and stand in line.
That's
man.
right. That's right.
I mean, if you should see some of my emails, man. Yeah. Do you guys get crazy? Well,
no,
you guys purposely
one cares
hold
about
on
us.
profile. But with
I don't yet.
Right, you're going to trust me.
I'm sure.
After this podcast, there's going to be guys punching holes in your bus tires and
Hope not.
dumping sugar in your gas tank, and
Well,
Get a lock-in gas cap.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
they're going to be like, you communists, you think that we should have public lands? Have you read the Constitution? That's what cracked me up. People are like, have you read the Constitution? Yeah, I've read it a lot. What is the
Start
Supreme?
to finish.
What does this have to do with any of it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're like, well, the courts don't know what they're talking about. Because the Supreme Court has always said, federal government can own public land.
That's right.
So these supposed constitutional geniuses who, they're kind of like the guy I
I
told you.
like the air quotes.
Yeah. Well, kind of like the guy who quit in 5th grade and went to be a commercial truck driver.
Yep.
Those are the kind of guys who will have their little pocket constitution.
I look forward to the emails.
When those guys pull out their little pocket constitution, they must have tore out the page about Article 3 that says the Supreme Court, the courts, the judiciary shall interpret the laws. Because they disregard that. Oh, those guys don't know what they're talking about. I made it through 3rd grade.
Yeah. I know everything.
Yeah. But the Supreme Court don't know anything.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Well, they usually put a lot of dumb people on the Supreme Court.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I mean, I think the qualification is what, 6th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I suppose some of those justices, they have a stamp with their name and they just put an X next to their name because they haven't even learned how to spell their name or something.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. So.
And I say that because I grew up in a town where my mom had a little diner. There was a couple guys, I'm not going to use their name, would come in with their checkbook. She'd fill it out for them, sign it, and they just put an X next to it. Because they didn't know how to do any of that stuff.
That's next level up there where you grew up.
I'm telling you, we're going to Big Falls next year.
Yeah.
We are. We're going to Big Falls next year. And we're going to have an open mic session at the pub. People can come and tell every corny Big Falls, Randy Newberg story they want. That might be a 5-hour podcast. We're going
probably. But
I don't know if deer season in South Dakota is like it is in Minnesota, where all of a sudden 1 million people show up wearing orange from head to toe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it's like a big tradition?
It's a huge tradition. It's not as big as Minnesota, but it's...
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Well,
yeah.
There's a lot of public land stuff rooted in all that hunting and all that tradition. And I mean, kind of like elk camps here.
Yeah.
You talk about one of your family members, it's their ridge.
Yeah.
In your elk camp, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's no matter where you go.
So
if there's
I'm actually going to be
good.
up in northern Minnesota next spring. Spending a couple weeks in the Boundary Waters.
Really?
That'll be sweet.
To go talk about all the mining stuff that's going on up there. Or trying, that they're trying to get past.
I'm thinking when he goes from South Dakota to the Boundary Waters, you're going to miss Big Fall. Oh, no,
I could make a trip through.
You might, if you go to Bemidji and head north on Highway 71.
Yeah.
Go to Big Falls. Stop there. You can put your beer on my tab there. There's only one bar. But then go up to Little Fork and you can cut across over to Highway 53. It'll take you right to Ely.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
No.
Yeah.
If you talk to Dale and Brenda, they own the only gas station in town.
Okay.
You can put it on my tab there too. They know I'm good
I'll
for
film
it.
the whole thing. I'll ask about it.
Yeah. Usually they call my brother. Hey, Jason, someone is here, says they know Randy.
Do you know these people?
Yeah. If he's not good for it, are you? And he just hangs up the phone. That's perfect. The joys of growing up in a town of 200 people. Well, now it's 200. It was 500.
Yeah. Shrinking.
So. How are we getting on all these tangents?
Yeah, it happens.
You guys
That's
need to
what
start
a podcast is, yeah.
You need to start reeling me in here. I feel like I'm getting way out there. This is one of those weird podcasts. Part of it is just this excitement.
I think
of being
I bring
in a
it out.
School bus. You do, Sam. You and your school bus have really brought out some good stuff. Some just what I'm like all about.
Yeah.
So You think we could get this bus up a mountain in Nevada, one of those mining roads? Boy, I bet you'd be hot in
I'll have to
here,
replace
though,
the thermostat.
How long have we been cranking on this thing, Michael?
An hour and 28 minutes and 48 seconds.
And 48 seconds. Gotta have that 48 seconds. So,
Thank you for the seconds.
Needed that.
I'd probably let you park this school bus right here in my spare lot if you let me have the school bus for a while.
Done.
I thought we already had a deal, man. I thought you're coming to my place.
He's afraid your roommates are going to come and paint it some funky camouflage.
Yeah. I already had somebody put a sticker on the back I had to scrape off. So
that's some BS.
So, of all the trips you got going this year, which one you most excited about?
That's tough because it's going to be a pretty good fall.
Yeah. You're hunting or you're filming? Which excites you more?
Well, I'm always more excited to hunt. I do film and photography, so I can hunt more.
Yeah.
So, but the trip with Matzinger will be good this year. Filming him, that's always a good time. And then actually one I'm kind of excited about where I'm not hunting is a buddy of mine. His name's Tom Jensen, South Dakota guy, hunts hard all the time. He drew a rifle elk tag in western South Dakota.
Oh, wow.
And so that starts October 1st.
Yeah. Is that once in a lifetime?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm going to drive the bus down there and we'll pull it in. And he's got 3 of his buddies that are going to be hanging out in the bus. And we're going to get it set up and see if we can't go shoot a big elk with a rifle. And
cool.
So that one should be a good time. Just, going back to the home state, and hanging out in the western South Dakota in the Black Hills out there and doing that. But personal hunt, I love chasing mule deer, so late October in Montana is going to be a pretty good time. Yeah,
it's always fun.
Yeah.
We're in a good cycle here right now. We haven't had a brutal winter.
Yeah.
I mean, some places had a tough winter last winter, but
I think we were all right. I mean, it wasn't that bad, and
it wasn't like Wyoming
or Idaho. Yeah, we
where everything died.
Yeah, that's too bad for those states because boy, they were producing some big deer in Idaho the last few years.
Yeah.
Whew, that's crazy. That's really too bad because Idaho, until that winter, I don't know, maybe it'll turn out to be okay. You think about public land mule deer with over-the-counter tags. I don't know where you'd find a better mix of just go buy a tag and go with as much public land as Idaho has.
I don't think there's a better state
and the quality of mule deer.
Yep.
But boy, they got some badass country in Idaho. There's a reason that those deer get old.
Yeah.
So when you guys say, it's a bad winter, does it kill like big mature bucks or is that like lower the reproductive cycle of fawns or whatnot, or is it just kind of the whole thing?
I'm going to defer to Marcus. He's the guy with the biology
I would have to Google
training.
that. Yeah,
He always says that.
It's an undergrad degree. It doesn't actually mean I know anything. But yeah, no, I mean it's going to affect the whole age class.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose.
And they say it's particularly bad on fawns, right? Because the snow gets so deep they just can't handle the cold.
The fawns and the oldest bucks is what I've read. I don't know for sure.
I got you.
So, like they say in Wyoming, they lost over 90% of the fawn crop. So you think of
That's crazy.
4 or 5 years from now, what's that going to do? Because there's going to be
a lot of 3-year-olds shot.
Yeah,
that year.
So it's
I got you.
Bummer.
Yeah,
it's just weather though.
Yeah,
and
it happens. It's all cyclical.
Yeah, I wish there was a better way around it. But of our trips, Marcus, what's your most, and not counting the one where you get to shoot a boone and crocodile elk. You got one you're looking forward to?
I think the Arizona deer hunt is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's got a cool story. I mean, if you go back and read about all the predator control that happened on the Kaibab Plateau, population spiked. I can't remember the number of mule deer. It was ridiculous, and it destroyed the vegetation, the food source. So they just overate their habitat, and within a decade, it had crashed.
Yeah,
it's kind of the one thing you always read about of how one of the hard lessons of how to manage game within the habitat values. But
yeah, that, and then also the Nevada bighorn is going to be. That is a cool story behind it.
Now, is that your tag?
I wish. I'm not like Matt Singer. I'll go to my grave never having hunted sheep. But no, Mike Spitzer, a buddy of ours, Mike's been on, I think, 4 episodes, something like that. He drew the tag.
Cool.
So it was his last year as a Nevada resident. So he lucked out.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
It'll be fun.
There's quite the conservation story behind that whole area, right? Of how people brought it back.
Yeah, we're working with Wild Sheep Foundation to tell a really cool conservation story because Nevada lost when all the mining and stuff is what kind of was the settlement in Nevada. That and sheep operations, they lost just about all of their wild sheep. And then when I went to college, I graduated in December of 88. Yeah, 88, 89. Anyhow, I think there were like 3,000 or 4,000 sheep in the whole state. Now they're up over 11,000 sheep.
Wow.
And it's about all due to conservation efforts of Wild Sheep Foundation, Nevada Bighorns Unlimited, the Fraternity of Desert Sheep.
That's a huge success story.
Yeah, it's huge. Awesome. And you think about how the landscape is so compromised there right now. You take the factors of, with climate change, whatever you want to call it, some people politically they can't say climate change, they got to say extended drought, whatever the hell. I mean, how stupid is that? You can't say climate change because, well, I ran on a platform. That's really not happening. It's just an extended drought for the last 45 years. Anyhow, you take that. And then you take pinyon juniper encroachment because we've been suppressing fires for so long.
Yep.
And those are water hogs. They are absorbing most of what had been the excess water that would create water sources for them. Then you take cheatgrass, which has taken over most of the sagebrush communities. And then you take feral horses. There's 3, 4, 5 times the number of feral horses that the Wild Horse and Burro Act allowed for. And somehow these native sheep are supposed to make a living out of all that. And if it wasn't for hunters and conservation-minded people putting water out there, doing the things that are necessary, I don't know how Nevada probably would have no sheep left. So we're going to try. Marcus is in charge of telling that story.
Oh, I'm in charge now, huh?
You're the film guy.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I mean, I don't know how well I'll tell the story.
You'll tell it very well.
No, I think you're gonna be the voice behind the story, though. So
well, maybe I'll be the guy in front of the camera. I'll try not to. We're pretty close to Utah there. I better lay off the Utah politician. If I have any listeners left in Utah when this is all over, and it's so funny.
I feel like the hunting community will still listen to you.
You think so?
You might not have, a lot of love from the politicians
there, because I really do enjoy a lot of the Utah hunters. I know it's just this weird. I don't get it. It doesn't equate to have such a passionate group of public landowners like Utah has.
Especially because a lot of those guys hunt in bigger groups.
Right. Yeah,
so, seems like they would rally.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yep.
So, Michael, which of our trips are you looking forward to?
The bighorn sheep. Yeah. Marcus already mentioned that one. I'm also looking forward to the moose, too.
Yeah.
Never seen. Well, actually, I saw my first moose the other day driving down the highway in the Gallatin River.
Nice.
Just a big old moose, but yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
What if we don't find a moose?
Then we're blind.
Yeah. You heard it from Marcus. If we don't find a moose, we're blind.
I've been there before. We'll see a moose.
You sure?
I like the confidence.
That a promise?
Yes.
I wonder if I bet you Matthew is so passionate about public lands, he'd probably donate his moose antlers for the hood of your.
If he's willing to.
Your voyage.
I'll put him on there.
That might require naming rights, though.
What would you? Yeah. Okay. What
would it be?
Yeah. What would the name be?
Like, we're so good with names.
Yeah.
So as we're getting close to the end here, the three of you have lived the dream life of filming and producing outdoor TV. Is it all it's cracked up to be?
I mean,
I mean, you get to hunt every day of your life, right?
We probably don't have much ground to stand on to complain all that much, but there is a lot more that goes into it than people see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot more work than what your Instagram posts show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, it's a lot of days on the road away from any sort of permanent residence, and it's waking up early and going to bed late and hardly sleeping, and you just hike around with the backpack on and try to follow people and make them look cool.
Yeah, he is so understating that. It's more like I have to keep these hunters, these people who are on camera, I have to keep them in line. I have to tell them you can't pick your nose when we're done doing that. No swearing. You got to quit farting. We have the audio. And then when you walk away from the camera and you're like, that SOB, he says, I can hear you.
It's all going right here.
And it sounds like maybe you got it easier than Marcus and Michael, but usually when I'm in my fourth nightmare, they're still downloading footage. Mm-hmm. And when I wake up in the morning, they've usually already been up for an hour getting batteries and cameras and gear and everything else.
Or shooting the star laps or doing whatever it might take to tell the story.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think in these are like in New Mexico last year, Marcus? How many hours of sleep you think you'd get a night?
I don't know.
5?
Maybe.
Yeah, I always like it when it gets later in the year, and so like the days are a lot shorter.
Yeah, the rifle hunts.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
I finally have
it's
time
dark
to
at-
do something.
Yeah, it's
at
dark
night,
at 6 o'clock, and so you're back and you do stuff for a couple hours, and then you can go to sleep, and then the sun doesn't come up until whatever, and so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think for people who watch or listen, they say, yeah, I went to Colorado for a week. I was really wore out by the time I got done. Okay. Throw all your junk in your bag, drive to a truck stop, do your laundry, and go and repeat this 10 more times before you get to actually come home and rest.
Yep.
That's really
It's fun though. It's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And that's even last year. I mean, when we were on the road forever and then the day that we get back to Bozeman, I leave to go do my own hunt.
Right.
And I just do it. And then I come back and then the next day we go back out filming.
Your vacation from filming hunts is hunting. So
Yeah. And like you guys said, when I've asked Marcus many times, he's like, I don't think we're going to get much sympathy. We probably shouldn't complain about this stuff.
Yeah. But I think Michael gets it too. I mean, that was my first start was Midwest Whitetail, and it was, I hunted North Dakota, so it started September 1st, but it was, 2 times a day you go sit in a tree stand, and then you go back to the office and you work on an episode, and then you go back out and you film, and then you go back and you work on an episode, and you sleep for 4 hours and you get up and you go do it again.
Yeah.
There's one day that I filmed when I was an intern where we have that Northern Flight show, or they had that Northern Flight show when I was there. So you'd wake up at 2:33, go put out the deeks, do your waterfowl stuff in the morning, kill your limit, come back, download footage, work a little bit here and there. And then there was one night where we went and filmed a duck hunt in the morning. Just like I said, came back, downloaded footage, left an hour later and shot a booner. Luke Nissen, you remember Luke?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a pretty crazy day, but that was just like all the time. And I'm really excited to see what it's like out here. Whereas, a lot of the freelance stuff I did last year, I was going back and staying in a $6 million lodge or like something real nice. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
But I'm real pumped. I guess a little anxious to see how it goes. I got a little taste of it last year in Arizona, and like you said, it was early September rut archery hunt, and didn't get a lot of sleep.
Warb just sent me pictures of you sleeping most of the time.
They like to highlight the 10 minutes on the way to the trailhead that I got some shut eye, but there was a lot of you know how it goes. It was just funny because I'd be sleeping with my feet out the window and my head hanging out the other window.
So do you guys ever feel pressure that you're not going to get what you need to get?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, I have that standard checklist, usually like when we get to a spot, like gotta get my pans in, gotta get shots to U-glass and stuff like that. I I guess it's going to be a little different this year too, as you know, like when you're in the Midwest tree stand hunting, you know where ideally where the buck's going to come from, and you can set up and like practice for that buck coming in and where the kill shot would be. But here it's totally different because you're mobile, and you know, I'm following you around, and then all of a sudden there's this big elk bugling its brains out right in front of us at, you know, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. So, but it's going to be interesting.
Well, you saw the Nevada mule deer hunt last year, right? With Randy's buck.
Yeah.
So it's like I have the tripod in one hand and camera in the other. Buck steps out. All right, just throw the tripod on the ground. Yeah. Like, yep, shoot it.
And it's a little different dynamic with the way we do things because we have 2 cameramen. So it's kind of relieving to know, like, all right, well, hopefully, maybe Marcus got the shot too. You know, maybe.
Yeah, you should have always assumed that I got the shot.
But no, it'll be my first year working with another cameraman. You know, the 2-man crew or sometimes a 3-man crew. So it'll be be pretty cool.
Yeah, because like when we were bear hunting this year, when he smelled us and took off running. That's the normal fire drill for us. Yeah. Is all of a sudden it's like, where did this come from? And a whole lot of funny language and words. It's crazy. And so I often wonder, I don't feel any pressure actually when I'm out there anymore. The first 2 or 3 years I did it, I felt I put all kinds of stupid pressures on myself about a lot of things. And now it's like, you know what? If we miss something or I miss the shot, or that's just part of the story.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we let it rip.
And I think that's what's going to be sweet about us doing the semi-live YouTube kind of stuff is we don't have to like, constrict what we have to show. We can show everything.
Yeah.
You know, if one day we don't see a lot, it can be 5 minutes. The next day, if we have a ton of content and a lot of things happen, we can make that episode 40 minutes if we want.
So do you, Sam, this is probably a pipe dream, but here's what we're thinking we're going to pull off this year. We're going to go out, we're going to film in the morning and hunt for 5-6 hours. Then one of these guys is going back to camp, download footage, and going to edit that morning and have it ready to put up on YouTube. Well, the other guy's going to come out with me in the afternoon and film.
And then edit the next morning or at that night.
However
it works.
Yeah.
It's going to be
interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
It sounds like a ton of work, but I think...
if you can edit fast.
Well, I mean, but if you can pull that off, I think the audience is going to love it.
Yeah. And we're not worried. We're not doing any music. We're not polishing anything. It's just, this is what happened. Yeah. We're cutting the pieces that.
No, I think that's perfect.
It really kind of puts the viewer like in our shoes almost, like we're following Randy around, you know, like it feels like you as the viewer is there with us.
Yeah.
It's none really of the BS music and all this dramatic stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be sweet.
Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure we're going to get delayed a day or two.
I don't think it'll be right the day after, but
because that'll be tough just because, mostly like internet service to upload that stuff.
Yeah.
You run back to town to sit at a Starbucks to
poach someone's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to do it that way. And we've done the bear hunt, and then we didn't even film last year with the idea of the day-to-day stuff, but we've done some of them. We did the one with Corey Jacobson, that elk hunt. I got ridiculous number of views on YouTube. We're getting ready to do the Nevada deer. I think that's going to get a ton of YouTube views with the last one I looked at with me standing there down to nothing but my underwear. And it's so embarrassing, Sam. I sit on this cactus. I dove in it. They're pulling the spines out and there's blood on them and stuff. Well, I dropped my drawers and I've got long johns on and they're like, no, you got to go to one more layer. So I'm standing there in my Duluth Trading Post underwear, and that night in the dark, or that morning in the dark, I didn't put my headlamp on, I put them on backwards. People are going to see that and say, Newberg, the flap goes in the front. I know that. So my political career, I'm not going to follow your mother's footsteps.
Yeah.
I am down the tubes from that. But so I'm sure that's going to get a lot of views.
It'll be interesting because that first half of that day is edited out at 30 minutes.
Right.
That's just half a day.
Right. Yeah. And then
which is more than a TV episode.
Right. And the thing we're finding is the feedback is people want to see what's going on when we're out.
They like the raw stuff.
Yeah. And we try to I'll say, hey, Marcus, this, and we let them know that Marcus is the camera guy. So people are getting a feel for how hard your guys' job is also.
Yep.
In fact, when we packed the elk out in Colorado, in one clip, a bunch of guys are like, well, I'd tell my cameraman to drop that camera and start packing. I'm like, he was packing, plus he was filming, so you might want to shut up. I'm not going to say a word to him. I might find myself with an oak brush wrapped around my head. So, no, you guys, I think you guys have the hardest job. Way hard. I mean, yeah, I'm responsible.
I have the best job.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be sweet to hunt too, but I mean, I think
you can fit that in on the side, right?
Yeah. But it's awesome. I love it.
Have you looked at the calendar to see how few days you have available to fit that in on the side?
Yeah, but when else? I mean, what else would I be doing? Otherwise, I'd be sitting at a desk, crunching numbers.
Or landscaping.
Or landscaping.
Your Christmas bonus is dependent upon you shooting a Montana deer in November.
I'm excited for that.
On camera.
All right.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right.
I want it to be with my bow, though.
No. Rifle.
Just go shoot one with a rifle.
That would be hard.
No, it's going to be with a rifle, and I'm going to be filming it.
Okay. That's fair.
Sometimes,
that'll be fun. That really will be.
We're going to put everything on auto. Randy's running the camera. This better be really
static.
easy.
That's all we need. We just need static.
Yeah. As quick as Michael shoots, he's going to run back behind the camera and start filming the rest of it. But, so, no, to me, it's important that for the story we're trying to tell is I do want the crew to do some of the hunting too, and sharing some of that, and let the audience know that the people with the hardest jobs are the ones that you don't see.
Yeah.
I just show up and start telling BS stories about this or whatever, and, make it up as I go. I mean, I could be president the way I can make stuff up.
Don't be telling people that.
So you're So is this you're announcing that you're running?
Yeah, 2020.
Trust me, my political
sounds
career,
like we need to vote for Randy shirts.
No, my wife told me if I ever think about politics, she's leaving me. But she's trying to leave me over a lot of things. We're on year 29.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, she isn't leaving now, I don't think. She's got me trained. And I tell her I'm happily married for the first and last time because the retraining process, if
that's too long.
Well, there would be a death, either me or the person doing the training. I was 24 last time I got trained, and how that woman did it, I don't know. She's a saint. If you can, you know how to nominate a woman for sainthood?
I don't.
Okay. Well, if you find out, let me know.
Google it.
We're putting Kim Newberg's name up there. But, so, you guys got anything else we got to tell the audience? What did we forget that we wanted to talk about?
What's your favorite hunt this year?
What are you looking forward to? Well, if we can get a film permit for it, we've only been trying since April. Now that when the Forest Service permit officers listen to this podcast, I'm not getting a film permit, I'm sure. So for the audience that doesn't know, all of us, we got to get public land film permits for everything we do on public land, and it takes a long time. It takes anywhere from a month to 3 months. Well, I'm applying for this one because I have an elk tag in Arizona, a rifle elk tag that is in the rut. And another really cool story to tell, Marcus, that we're talking about conservation issues. It's one we want to do. And so I'd say that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. Maybe my buddy Jim coming down from Alaska, Jim with the big bushy beard. Nice. He's doing with his Hawken homemade muzzleloader. We're going to be in Wyoming. So,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. And then we did and this is my pronghorn problem. We did the sweepstakes thing last year with the Onix Maps guys, and the person who won it was called Pronghorn with the Pros. She won it and was going to give it to her son, and her son's got some major health issues going on, like the big C word, and so we're still in limbo.
Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and so whether it's her or whether it's him or whoever she donates that to or keeps it herself. I think there's a lot of therapeutic value in going out hunting. And if I can just be a little part of that, that's exciting. Taking Cushman here in Montana. John he's just such a great guy. He's an Army medic who got blown up twice in Iraq.
Jeez.
And he hangs out on the Hunt Talk, our forum. He's the welcoming committee out on the Hunt Talk forum. And I called him this morning. I'm like, hey, John, what are you doing in November? I don't know. Why? I think you ought to come deer hunting with me. What? You aren't screwing with me, are you? Nope, I'm not screwing with you, John. We need to go do that. So just because of who he is, what a great guy he is, especially with all that he's been through, I'm looking forward to that one too. So we got to find him a nice whitetail.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad I'm not going on that hunt, but at the same time, it will be nice to go on my own.
Yeah,
deer
Marcus
hunt.
will be doing his own deer hunting. So we can. I don't know, Michael. It's every one of them. I mean, the fact that my son draws a moose tag and he's coming back to Montana, and we get to hunt maybe once a year. It's hard to, I don't care if we're squirrel hunting.
Yeah.
It's hard to top that. Now, at this point in my life where I know that, you don't want to take for granted how many of those weeks you have together. So that's worth a lot too.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Sounds like we all got a pretty good fall.
It does.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be living in a school bus like somebody else I know. Damn it.
Yeah. Feeling pretty lucky about that.
That'd be cool.
Well, when you think that you just need to really get this thing broke in right, Sam,
I'll give you a call.
You let us know. And if you're going to retire it after this year, I'm thinking we need to do it next year. I mean, it's kind of a copycat thing, but maybe every year.
That's what I was thinking.
Every year,
transition it
maybe
through.
this bus gets loaned out every year to a new platform.
It's not a terrible idea.
To promote the cause.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know what it would cost to wrestle it from your hands for a season.
We can figure that out.
All right. Well, have your peeps call.
I have a feeling that after a year of driving a bus,
you'll be.
I'll probably be ready to not drive a bus for a second.
The next time we see Sam, he'll be in a little Chevy Chevette.
Yeah.
Something you can parallel park.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, folks, thanks for listening. I'm trying to think. Do we need any other advice the world needs to know about?
What are the places that people, again, can follow along this story?
So we got to get that.
Right now, the best is just my Instagram. So it's just at Sam Soholt. Last name is Soholt. And then also publiclandtees.com. A bunch of it will be living there.
And buy some T-shirts because that helps this go.
I like to think I have a couple cool designs out there. So, go check it out. And then, once I get everything up and rolling with Outdoor Life, I can push people there. So, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we promote it?
As much as you want.
Blow it out on all of our platforms?
Yes, that would be awesome.
All right. Well, this podcast is going to be on iTunes, Stitcher, iPod,
YouTube.
Google Play, YouTube. Our YouTube channel.
So a couple people will see it and hear it.
Yeah, we've been averaging about, I don't know, depends on how good the guest is. So we're not putting any pressure on. If we got good guests, we'll get 130,000 downloads.
All right.
So
I like to think I'm average at best, like Michael's footage. So,
Gonna lay down some average footage today, man. No, we'll put it out on all of our platforms.
That's great. I really appreciate it.
The YouTube channel, we need to figure out. We need to shoot a YouTube clip while he's here.
Yeah, we could do a standalone YouTube video.
You should drive the bus.
Welcome to my crib.
Oh,
but it's a bus.
Can I drive it?
Yeah, of course you can. I'll just give you the keys. You can go. Yeah, take it out, run it around, drive it back. I don't even need to be in it. Just go enjoy.
Oh, no, I couldn't do it without you.
But yeah, you can drive it.
We're gonna film it if you do, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll have a smile like a ripple on a slop pail. That'd be like.
Let's do it.
I can't even imagine. That'd be like being able to drink beer again.
You can just take it up to your trailhead where you
Where I hike.
Where you go hiking?
Oh, I know. Some guy's got his old junked out Winnebago up there right now. I saw him working on it the other day. He wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, Benny you must know being a South Dakota
So I've never
guy.
met him, but I know, Benny Spies had the Winnebago traveling around.
Winnebagos are kind of like for those uppity folks. I mean, the salt of the earth people have school buses retrofitted.
Yeah.
I mean, a Winnebago, that's like, that's people.
Well, it's already done for you.
Yeah, that's like cushy, and you don't want that crap. You want character, man.
That's right.
This thing exudes America. Maybe that's what you got to just say, the SS America.
I like it with apostrophe America.
Yeah.
Or pretty good.
I don't know. There's got to be something to that because this has just got so much character in it.
Probably should get a flag to just rip off the back. Yeah. So when I'm driving down the highway, it's just fluttering.
So all of you listening, whether it's on the podcast or if it's on YouTube, if it's on the podcast, feel free to email us, contact@randynewberg.com, and we'll tally up what people think this trip ought to be called.
That'd be good.
Give you some names to consider. You get final say in it, but we just, we'll engage the audience here. I bet you they got some good ideas. I mean, think about it. Driving a retrofitted school bus across America celebrating public lands.
It's got to have a good name.
Yeah, but I mean, that is, you compare that to Donald Trump flying his jets around. Doing rallies at
slower.
Big golf courses. I mean, or Barack Obama, flying to Hawaii. None of those. That's not even in the same league to what you're doing, Sam.
That's right. That is right.
Those people.
That is a massive compliment.
Those people are going to be jealous. I mean, Obama and Trump are going to wish they were Sam Soholt.
Well, I think we should get one of the two out on the bus. I'll do an interview with them.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. I mean,
why not, right?
Yeah, get George W. and get Slick Willie and I mean, who else is still kicking? Jimmy Carter. I mean, we got
run them all.
George One.
Yeah,
I think that he's the oldest of what's left over.
Probably. Yeah.
I was going to make a bad comment about Slick Willie. I better not. That one almost slipped out.
Well, now you can't leave us hanging.
Well, no. You guys weren't even born then.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So we'll stop there before it gets any worse. But anyhow, Sam, thanks for doing this.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
All of us who love public lands really appreciate that you would make this commitment of your time, your money, and just to the cause of what public land is. And
should be one hell of an adventure.
It will be. And please, all of you listening.
Thanks, Michael.
All of you listening, I can't tell you how much it would mean if you'd go and support this. I mean, this guy he's doing something special for all of us. So please go out to publiclandtees.com.
That's the one.
And either donate.
Yeah, I don't have a donate button yet. Just buy a shirt.
Or buy a shirt.
The shirts are cool. I checked them out today. I like the lost one.
Oh, really?
I call that the Navigator.
It says lost as shit, right?
Really?
It's like the letters. The letters are like big block letters, and it's made out of a topo map. So
it's sweet. I'm getting one.
Yeah, I got
That's gonna be my donation.
So we'll get you hooked up with one so you can wear it out. Wear it proud.
Man, yeah, so. I'll be. Hey, I'm doing a pint night in Portland Thursday night.
In Portland, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon, yeah, for BHA.
Oh, I wonder if I could get one lined up that fast. That's
I'll
tough.
just tell them about you.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll tell them, all you Portland folks with all your money, you need to be supporting this guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, all right, folks. Yeah. Marcus, Michael, thanks, guys. Thanks for all your work. It's going to be a fun season, I hope. Maybe.
It will be.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to have a podcast after we get off the road in January. And
let's do one down at SHOT Show.
Yeah, or if you come to Arizona.
Or in Arizona, right at the end of it all.
Or
there'll probably be a couple podcasts down in Arizona with the crew we'll have down there.
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy down there. But yeah, we should do one kind of after the fact, we'll all report in. Sam, you got to give us all right, here's the map. Well, maybe we'll have a big map and you'll say, well, right here is where the transmission blew up.
Right.
right here's where I got pulled over by the cop who didn't think I was funny. Oh, you've been pulled over yet?
The first night I had a run-in with the law.
Oh,
so
no.
I started driving on Sunday night. I pulled into Mobridge, South Dakota, and it said recreation area, you know, like public land, whatever, you know, mile south. So I just drove down. There's a big pullout.
Right.
I was like, perfect. Pulled off, got set up, slept for about an hour, woke up to a bright light shining in the side of the bus. Yeah. And then the car drove away and it was a cop. And I was like, oh, man. You know, and then I heard him come back around. So I just got up, turned my lights on, and walked out and waved with both hands out of the bus. And then he's like, what you doing? I was like, well, I'm trying to sleep for a couple hours. He's like, yeah, you can't be here. So he didn't, I didn't get in trouble or anything. He just escorted me down. I couldn't be there after 11. So he escorted me down to somewhere I could sleep for a couple hours and then kept driving. So
really? Oh,
but yeah, I had to laugh. First hour of sleeping in the bus and I had to talk to a cop. So, but he came in, checked it all out, you know.
Yeah. That sounds like a story that happened in Russia or something. Jeez.
Russia and Mobridge, South Dakota.
Really? Putin, he got a summer. Is that where they took all those fishing pictures
maybe.
of him?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, someday I'll tell you about my story of why I hunt right up to the Mexican border, but I don't hunt in Mexico.
Okay.
I am a fugitive for Mexican justice.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that'll be on the next podcast.
No, when we go, the next one that we do
when
down
we talk
there.
about it in Arizona.
Yeah, actually, when we were down there last year, I just as a joke, I kind of that one strand barbed wire fence that Donald Trump says keeps the drug dealers from throwing their bags of pot and smashing you on the head when they come over the, you know. I lifted one leg over that single strand barbed wire just to see if I dared do it after the federales were looking for me. And I don't dare. Cost me a brand new Toyota 4x4.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And 10 years off my life.
Jeez.
If you've ever been in a Mexican jail, you will.
I have not.
You'll have a new understanding of what stench smells like. They walk you down this hall to give you your medical exam to make sure you're not bringing other diseases in there. And when they open like this double divider door, the stench was so bad. So you walk down this corridor, and on each side of you are some of Mexico's most sex-starved, hardened criminals reaching for you, screaming.
I don't like this.
And you look in there, and there's 5 or 6 of them in a cell with just pads on the floor and a slop pail that they use for their facilities.
Oh.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Spring break.
All because we got an offender bender.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyhow, out of that story. So needless to say, we ran away from the federales after they let us out for a little while, and we decided we are never coming back to Mexico.
That's smart.
If you gave me if you said I won that, what's that island where you hunt sheep in Mexico?
I can't remember the name of it,
Anyhow,
but
but there's like this $150,000 hunt to hunt desert sheep there. If you told me I won that, I'd turn it down. That's how frightened I was.
Whew, that sounds terrible. I'm looking forward to hearing the whole story.
Anyhow, see, we were trying to end this podcast.
We've had a couple tangents.
Yeah. So, anyhow, folks, thanks for listening. Sam, thanks for all you're doing.
Thanks
really
for having me on.
appreciate it. And we look forward to the next time.
Absolutely.
Take care, folks.